Hello, and we welcome you to Golden West College football on SoCal College Sports today. The Rustlers begin their 2024 home schedule with arguably as tall an order as one can find in the 3C2A, as they welcome the defending 3C2A champion Riverside City College Tigers. I'm Jeff Stoyna, very pleased to be joined by Mike Zapata and Xander Zubiotti. And Mike, let's start with the matchup here today, specifically Golden West and Riverside, after a titanic battle between these two teams back in 2021 that came down to a single yard in the championship game in the South. The last two matchups have really been dominated by the Tigers on the scoreboard to the tune of an average margin of victory of 31 points per game in the last two matchups. Mike, how do the Rustlers reverse the trend here today?
Well, it's imperative you keep that offense off the field. You're going to have to establish the running game if you're the Rustlers. And, the last time they beat Riverside was at Riverside in 2021. So, tall order for the Rustlers here today in the opener. Should be a good one.
Xander, let's talk a little bit about the quarterback position. Predictably, changes at quarterback, the turnover year after year at this level. You see it for all teams. Both teams dealing with that today. Brady Jones takes over for Jordan Barton, who departs after the championship run a year ago for Riverside. Meanwhile, for Golden West, it was quarterback by committee a year ago with three quarterbacks seeing fairly significant time. But Will Burns comes in to take over. What do you make of the quarterback matchup here today?
Yeah, let's first talk about the away team with RCC. Brady Jones, 337 passing yards, 26 for 42, and on the ground, 52 yards and 6 rushing attempts. And looking at it for Golden West, 16 for 21 for Will Burns and 143 passing yards, and also 73 yards on the ground. So both quarterbacks are the leading rushers for these teams, and they're going to probably be using their legs in this game. But we kind of have a running back by committee for Golden West, as Beck Walker, 12 rushing attempts, Aaron Mitchell, 8, and Cameron Stiegler and Kendrick Thomas, both 4 attempts. So we're kind of going to see a lot of different guys running in this game.
Yeah, indeed. Nick Mitchell talked about that across the board when we spoke to him this week. A lot of players coming back after missing last week. Still early in the season for both these teams, so you have to imagine both coaches going to want to get a look, get some reps for a number of players. So it's going to be busy for us today keeping track. Figure to see a lot of players seeing time across the board. We are moments away from opening kick, about 10 minutes away. We'll step aside, rejoin you for the opening kick. Riverside and Golden West coming up on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of the national anthem? The team captains for the Rustlers for today's game are number 74, Malcolm Dana, number 8, Jaden Jackson, number 6, Andrew Jordan, and number 1, Noah Burdick.
Kickoff right now. Yeah.
Me?
One more hand. Shake hands. One more time. Good looking. Let's go there. Here we go, boy. Here we go, baby. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Stand on one. Let's go. Squeeze it.
Now it's on your feet. Let go.
On your path. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on. Go. Shake.
You're in.
Time it up, dog. Hey, let's go. Hey, set the tone, Nia. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, start now, Nia. Side and go make a play.
Picking up for the Rustlers is Fernando Mancia.
RCC has won the toss, and they have elected to take the ball. So they will go on offense first. Moments away, Golden West and Riverside. Here from Golden West College. Overcast afternoon, slight breeze. Comfortable temperatures for football were underway. Taken deep by Daryl Booker at the goal line. Out to the 15, and Booker is cut down shy of the 20. Brought down at the 18-yard line. Looks like Orlando Bustamante getting down quickly to cut down Booker. And the Tigers will go to work as Brady Jones will lead the offense onto the field. They'll spread out with 3 wide receivers. On first down, Divine Pearson in the backfield getting the start. Jones fakes, quick toss, looking for his tight end Bo Bruins, who slips out of one tackle and picks up a couple of yards. Forced out of bounds at the 20. They'll give Bruins 3 yards, leaves a 2nd and 7 from the 20. They'll overload the left side as they work it from left to right. Here in the first quarter, quick throw again. Caught at the 22. That's a gain of just a couple. Samarian Hughes coming up for the quick stop. A gain of just 3 leaves a 3rd and 7. 3rd down where Riverside excels year after year. And indeed, in week 1, the Tigers were 9 of 13 on 3rd down in a win against Long Beach City College. Lobbing for the far side, incomplete. The coverage was very good. Looking for Caden Williford, and Golden West gets exactly the start they're looking for. Xander, a quick 3 and out, and they'll get the ball.
Yeah, it's definitely good for Golden West, but we're already seeing for RCC, this is a run and gun type of offense. Get rid of the ball as quick as possible. I don't even think there was even a second in the pocket before he got rid of that ball. But good defense by Golden West, a bend but do not break, and they get a nice 3 and out to get the ball early in this game.
Well, Nick Mitchell would love if that was the dynamic. When we spoke to him this week, he indicated that running the ball and stopping the run were going to be critical if the Rustlers wanted to stay in the game. And indeed, Riverside last week, over 200 yards on the ground. This is a team that does run the ball well. But indeed, Xander, they start with 3 passes, and now a kick off the side of the foot. This is going to be negative yardage on the punt. A disaster on special teams as Joshua Hussman misfires completely. And this one going to be spotted inside the 20. That's a punt of negative 8 yards. What a break for the Rustlers early.
Yeah, you're going to have to imagine that this is exactly what they want. Starting out on defense and making a 3 and out, and also a good play on special teams to keep them right already in red zone, ready to get ahead against the #1 team.
Yeah, it looked like Hossman had all kinds of time, but just nearly misfired completely. Just got the edge of the foot and negative yardage, so Will Burns and the Rustlers with a great chance early, and Burns looking for 6 immediately, going for Sarmiento in the corner. And he's got it! Touchdown, Rustlers on 1 play.
Wow. I'd like to see that again.
And we will have a couple of looks. But the Rustlers waste no time, Michael. But that is some kind of pass from Burns.
That's incredible. Back corner on the money. That's one heck of a play in terms of bringing that in.
Yeah, maybe we can run that back one more time, because it also looked like Sarmiento was trying to secure that ball as he was heading out of bounds. Either way, the call is a touchdown. And for Sarmiento, who returns after missing last season with injury for his sophomore season.
Yeah, we'll see one more.
The big catch on the opening play for the Rustlers offensively here today. Let's have one more look.
Slow it down here. Yeah, I think that's just might be a missed call, because it looks like he is indeed bobbling it, but the referee, I don't think, had the right angle to see that bobble.
Yep.
Only sees the foot that's down.
It's Eddie Elaine coming over on the coverage. And Elaine closed and got there, and that's why the pass being on the money from Burns was so critical. A very tight window to drop that ball in, and Sarmiento, again returning after the redshirt season a season ago, very sure-handed. Takes over in that slot position for Nate Jimenez, who was so effective the last couple of years for the Rustlers. But Sarmiento, well-suited to fill that role as he did a couple of years ago. First touchdown reception on the season, and the Rustlers, just over a minute in, have grabbed the 7-0 lead.
See, Jeff, I think that's one where it probably gets overturned if the replay is available to the refs.
Well, I know you've been angling for that for a while, and Booker again with a short return. This time he is swarmed under short of the 20. And the Rustlers have the football. That came out late. We'll take a look at this one again as well. But Booker's hit by about 3 black jerseys. and appeared to lose the football.
Yeah, the flag came out. I wonder if we can run it back from that point.
I don't know if we have the whole play, but the call came in quickly as Booker loses the football. Clean effort a week ago for Riverside. Just one turnover in the 44-21 win against Long Beach City. But already a couple of huge miscues early in this one.
Yeah, usually special teams doesn't win you the games, but already off to a great start with the muff punt and now a fumble recovery on the kickoff. They're looking in a good position again to get another score.
Yeah, that's exactly true, Xander. Both miscues happening on special teams. Looking for Sarmiento in the flat. Cuts it back, tripped up at the 9. That's a gain of 5. Brings up a 2nd down and 5. And Nick Mitchell didn't mention it specifically, but Xander, you have to imagine getting touchdowns in the red zone going to be critical today. This is a Tiger offense that can put points on the board in bunches. You got to get 6s, not 3s.
Yeah, and in the game last week, Will Burns took the whole game and just got 1 touchdown. And now already 1 play, and he got to get a touchdown. He's going to look to go to Sarmiento as much as possible.
First carry for Beck Walker, who picks his way forward. He's down to the 4, very near first down yardage. They give Walker 4 yards, but also the first down. So 1st and goal from the 4. Walker, along with Aaron Mitchell, handled a majority of the running duties a week ago, taking over for Jay-Sean Pete and Ralph Akichi a year ago, who were outstanding, both averaging over 5 yards a carry. They have both moved on, Akichi to Ole Miss. Jay-Sean Pete moving on as well to Ottawa. So a new backfield, 1st and goal from the 4. Whistles before the snap. It's going to be a delay, they're going to say that the timeout was called before the delay of game. So the Rustlers forced to burn their first timeout to avoid the penalty, but when we come back, 1st and goal Rustlers, they're on top 7-0 and on the doorstep again. Receivers split left and right, 1st and goal from the 4. Snap to Burns, blitz coming quick, throw, and another touchdown for the Rustlers as he finds Noah Burdick. Well, 2 minutes and 37 seconds in, this is a stunner, Xander. Golden West up 13-0, taking full advantage of the 2 early miscues.
Yeah, and especially against the #1 team, all these mistakes, you got to take advantage of them. And getting 2 scores already in this game is beautiful. And what a beautiful concept to get Noah Burdick on the outside with nobody around him.
Meanwhile, how about the efficiency of Burns? 16 of 21 last week. You talked about that at the top. And quickly 3 of 3 early on here.
Yeah, they're going to be looking towards Burns. If he could stay consistently and get this team in the right spots, they can get these scores like they're showing already.
Burns, an interesting story himself, a bounce back from Texas Tech, where he was primarily focused on baseball initially coming out of high school and heading to Texas Tech. Since made the decision to bounce back, come to Golden West, and now the focus solely on football. And judging from the performance early on, why not? Good decision, it would seem, for Will Burns. He's got the Rustlers off to the 1-0 start and the quick start here today. They lead at 14-0. It's Golden West College football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Monroe and now Devin Turner back deep to receive the kick. Rustlers with the 14-0 lead. It's going to be Turner, and Turner now with some trouble. Gets started from the 2, but not going to have a lot of room. Still able to pick his way forward and get out near the 20, averting utter disaster, but the problems continue on special teams as Turner struggles initially before getting a 17-yard return. Well, this is weird. It's something in the water territory here for Riverside in this first couple of minutes. Can't seem to get out of their own way. And to that point,
to the goal, first down.
A penalty call. Referee George Arredondo with the call. This goes against Riverside, so bad field position gets worse.
Yeah, and it's something that you obviously don't see from a #1 team like RCC, but definitely something they need to work on. Again, it is only the beginning of the game. We haven't even got through 5 minutes of football, and yet it's already 14-0 Golden West.
Riverside last week, 17 penalties for 137 yards, but didn't really get in their way. They raced out to a 23-point lead at the half and were in control throughout in the win against Long Beach. But the trend continuing here early.
Yeah, you could do that against some different teams, but against Golden West, #8 team, you cannot get away with that many penalties.
Yeah, they're going to have to go 91 yards here to pay dirt as they'll start from their own 9. And they keep it on the ground, a first down carry, trying the left side and not much doing. Golden West there quickly. Do well to get back to the line. We'll see where they spot it. Javon Taylor, freshman nose guard, among the first to get there. Golden West with some inexperience at that nose guard spot, an injury to Cameron Set-Chan, the one returning sophomore at that nose guard spot, has left a couple of freshmen to man the duties, and Nick Mitchell said, hey, they're going to have to step up. A little inexperience there, but obviously a lot of confidence in these young nose guards to step up. They are flanked by a couple of returning sophomores on the outside. Good experience. Daniel Viramontes, Andrew Jordan, returning sophomores at defensive end on that defensive line. Second down carry. And a gain of about 4 yards to the 13, Kane Elroy. Quickly on the stop, bringing down Divine Pearson, and it leaves a 3rd and 10. I should say a 3rd and 6 from the 13. Time on the clock for Brady Jones as he looks over this Rustler defense, and a big 3rd down play even with 11:07 and counting remaining, and a first down and more. Jaden Jackson with the stop at the 21. But a big connection on 3rd down for the Tigers as they find J.J. Hooper, already the 2nd reception for Hooper in the game. But Xander, that was big, because down 14-0, you don't want another 3 and out and give the ball right back to the Rustlers, even early.
Yeah, and faking it with the snap count, obviously saw that linebacker coming down the blitz, so the middle was going to be open, so that slant route to him was going to be wide open and get even more yardage for that. It is something that they're going to have to look for on who's blitzing and who's going back into coverage. What's really going to work for RCC, because we saw a bit of this running gun, and now they're kind of holding in the pocket a little bit, trying to establish a run game, but that's obviously not working as much.
Yeah, 8 different players with the reception last week for Riverside. J.J. Hooper not among them, but an early target for Brady Jones. So Jones already shows an ability to spread it around, and now he finds Hooper a couple of times early, including that big 3rd down pickup. Meanwhile, a brief injury timeout for the Rustlers, and we're ready to go with a 1st and 10 from the 21. And it continues to be exactly what Nick Mitchell is hoping for in this one, as the Tigers do pick up the 3rd down conversion, but they do it through the air. Not much going for Divine Pearson on a couple of carries on that previous series. Pearson remains in the game, bunch formation with 4 receivers. Now they'll send Hooper out wide. Jones setting up the screen, incomplete, looking for Dominic Cox. And Cox looking to make a move before he secured the football. 2nd and 10 upcoming from the 21. Well, let's correct that very quickly. No, it is at the 21. Okay. I thought they were moving the football. Rustlers showing blitz. Here they come. Quick throw. Catches made. First down and more. Out past the 30 to the 33. That's a 12-yard pickup. Caden Williford with the reception. Good call against the blitz as Jones gets it out quickly, finding Williford.
Yeah, so far RCC doing a good job at reading the blitz. Already 2 first downs on 2 blitz attempts, so they're obviously going to have to change things up.
Again, they come on the blitz. Long throw to Hooper, who makes the catch. Looking for a lane, brought down after a gain of about 6. Brandon Soleo over there quickly along with Elroy. It's a gain of about 6, leaving a 3rd and 3. Well, lost a play. 2nd and 3. Quick out. Finding Hooper again. Makes the catch. Just in front of Drew Faulkner, who forces him out of bounds. Another first down. Tigers starting to get it going. 3 first downs, and they're out near midfield. Whistles on the snap. Below the play dead. And Golden West going to take their 2nd charge timeout with still 9:47 remaining in the first quarter. Golden West on top 14-0 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Interesting move. The Rustlers elect to burn a timeout on the drive. Their 2nd charge timeout, but obviously Nick Mitchell, the Golden West coaching staff, seeing something they didn't particularly like. And they do burn that 2nd timeout. We'll see if that becomes important later in the half. Right now, the Rustlers on top 14-0. Jones with time, still looking, fires and completes, finds Pearson. Pearson angling left. He's into Golden West territory, brought down at the 35 after a gain of 17. Great protection for Jones. Gave him that little bit of extra time before he found Pearson.
And what a great job by Jones, just to stay in the pocket, take his time, looking for an open receiver, and he finds his running back just straight up the middle for a big gain.
Yeah, Pearson able to get some yardage after the catch, getting all the way to the 35. Play action, big hit on Jones, first sack for Golden West. They dial up the blitz with Christian Patero, and this time they get there.
Yeah, and coming off of Brady Jones' blind side, not able to see him crashing down and take him out.
Yeah, Jones does a good job to hold on to the football. It's always impressive to me. You see him take that hit from the blind side and hold on to the football. Good strength. Patero, returning sophomore in that secondary. Nice luxury for the Rustlers, who've had a lot of turnover, particularly in the secondary, to get Patero. Meanwhile, there is a penalty called against Golden West, and it's a 15-yard penalty on Faulkner for improper equipment. That is a killer after you get the sack, and then you give up the penalty for 15 yards and the first down. So instead of 2nd and forever, you got a 1st and 10. The Tigers back on the move.
Yeah, we're already seeing a lot of mistakes from Golden West. Late substitution, which is why they had to burn the 2nd timeout, and not seeing the play clock, which had to burn the 1st timeout. So we're obviously seeing the small mistakes from Golden West.
And it is week 2 for both these teams, and some miscues early. Jones looking deep, looking for Cox. Cox down at the goal line, in for a touchdown. Well, that is both a great response and exactly what you would expect from the Tigers from what we've seen in recent years. not the 3C2A champions for nothing, and they bounce back huge. They're going 91 yards with Jones finding Cox for the touchdown.
Yeah, and Cox in last week's game is 6 catches for 76 yards and no touchdown. Gets his touchdown right there, and just an easy go route on the curl on the outside by number 11.
Yeah, working for Terahidi Wolf. Meanwhile, a block on the extra point. So the special teams troubles continue. Now it's a missed extra point. And the Rustlers will maintain the 8-point lead. Well, we wondered if maybe that timeout will end up looming large. We'll wait and see, but so often, Xander, those missed extra points come back to tell a story later in the game as well.
Yeah, they always come back to bite you in the butt, because then you have to decide if you get the next touchdown, do I go for 2, and then you have to worry about completing that as well. So it becomes a bit of a dogfight, because now Golden West up by 8. They're kind of in more of a cruising territory, because they technically 2 scores. If they go for 2, we'll see as the game goes on.
Yeah, and you need look no further than last week to know how difficult it can be. Go back a week ago up at Bakersfield, the season opening win for Golden West. Gades get a late touchdown to get back within 2. Cannot convert on the 2 that they have to go for in that one. Golden West holds on for the 2-point win against a very good defensive team. That 2-point conversion can be hard to get. Just under 9 minutes to go, already an eventful start. Here with the Rustlers on top 14-6, taking advantage of a couple of short fields from special teams miscues, but the Tigers have answered back as Jones finds Dominic Cox for the touchdown pass to get the Tigers on the board. Well, you go back to the meeting between these two teams a year ago, and the rushing numbers told a story. And that one with the Tigers running for just over 200 yards on the ground in the game to just 48 yards on the ground for the Rustlers in the big win for Riverside last season. And that is exactly the trend that Nick Mitchell wants to reverse. And we'll see right here, because, Xander, I get the feeling this is the first time when, if you're a Rustler fan, you're on that Rustler sideline. Boy, you'd like to pick up a couple of first downs here, maybe get something going on the ground, keep that offense for Riverside on the sideline, take a little clock.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of short drives from Golden West. We haven't seen a long drive like this starting at the 35 on their side, so we'll see how they do in this one.
Start with Walker in the backfield, pistol formation, and they're going to go to the air on first down. Burns looking deep, has a man incomplete. Looking for Colin Payne, the returning sophomore, and Payne had gotten behind Marcellus Linton, and Burns just missed.
Yeah, Burns doing a good job. Had it right out in front of Colin, but just a matter of inches, maybe not even that, maybe centimeters away from his hands.
Yeah, Payne had the fingertips on it, but couldn't quite bring it in. And we've talked about a couple of play calls early, and I like that one as well. That, I think, definitely fooled the Tigers. They had one-on-one coverage, and Payne had some separation. Now it's 2nd and 10. The read option, quick throw, finds the tight end. First down for the Rustlers into Tiger territory. Brought down near the 35-yard line as he finds Burke Michelson. That is a gain of 29 yards as they'll spot it at the 36.
And a good offensive scheme setup, just a quick RPO running out on the tight end. And it was perfectly set up also by Colin Payne, running that slant route, taking that DB out of the equation and giving Mickelson a ton of room to run upfield.
Yeah, Mickelson found himself with all kinds of room and made the most of it. 29 yards, now it's 1st and 10 from the 36. They'll go to the ground with Walker. Bounces off a tackler at the 35. And falls forward to the 33. And that's a gain of 3. Good hard running for Walker. It's going to be a little different look in the running game from a season ago when Akichi, Jayshon Pete, extremely fast, athletic runners. Walker, Aaron Mitchell, a little more power in the running game. But Nick Mitchell talking about this says we're still going to have the same focus in the running game. Maybe just a little different look to it with different backs. But we're going to look to do the same thing. 2nd down and 7, Sarmiento in motion. They swing it out to Sarmiento, picks up a block. He's at the 30 and then cut down. Gain of about 3, and it brings up a 3rd down and 4. The Rustlers last week, 6 of 14 on third down in the victory up at Bakersfield. And again, third downs so very critical here today. Not simply for the points, but you've got to extend drives.
Yeah, and I love getting Sarmiento out there early. Probably one of their better receivers, already leading in receiving yards in this game and was leading in last game, but didn't get his touchdown. Finally got his one. But Sarmiento in this motion package, kind of a Deebo Samuel for the Niners, just moving around. Not the biggest guy, also at 5'9".
3rd and 4 from the 30. Straight drop for Burns on the slant, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Trey Nelson. Nelson had a big performance in the win at Bakersfield a week ago with 4 catches for 59 yards and a touchdown, but can't bring that one in. 4th and 4 from the 29 of Riverside, and a decision for Nick Mitchell. Really not much of a decision, I think. Going to eschew the field goal attempt, which would be of 46 yards, and they'll go for it here on 4th and 4 from the Riverside 29. They'll overload the near side. Burns looking left, under pressure, on the scramble. Nixon giving chase, and now Burns going to try and head upfield, but he's knocked out of bounds shy of the first down. It's going to go back to Riverside. Give Jawan Nixon, who had 3 sacks a week ago for Riverside, a lot of credit. He was able to flush Burns outside, and not much Burns could do.
And RCC front 4 doing a lot of damage, putting up pressure straight on Burns as soon as he snaps that ball.
Yeah, Nick. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Xander.
But he didn't have much room to run. I was kind of surprised. I thought he was just going to be running out of the pocket to look for a throw, but didn't have any man open. So obviously, just going to have to go out of bounds because there is no shot that was going to be a first down.
Yeah, I think you have to be impressed with the speed of Nixon. He flushed him so far outside the pocket that by the time Burns was able to, this one's picked off. Golden West, pick 6, perhaps in for the touchdown. Nigel Mills stepping in front, nothing but open field in front of him. Big play for the Rustlers on defense. They extend the lead.
Yeah, RCC kind of got a bit predictable. A lot of crow routes when they were getting down the field, trying to get that big yardage. It fails for them right there as he's trying to get a quick crow route, but going to 29.
Yeah, Nigel Mills. The Rustlers with a couple of interceptions a week ago in the win up at Bakersfield. And now Mills gets into the act with his first interception on the season, and he takes it to the house. And the Rustlers, just when the momentum perhaps starting to slip away fully, get it back in a big way with the big play on defense now. So we've seen big plays on special teams, now a big play on defense, and with 6:50 remaining in the opening quarter, Golden West pushes the lead to 21-6 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We're midway through the first quarter. Already feel like we've seen about 3 quarters of football here today with all of the events so far. Big plays on special teams, on defense, a lengthy drive for a touchdown. Well, we may be here for a while. Monroe and Williford now back deep for the Tigers, and it's Williford who will take it from the 6. Out to the 20 and brought down at the 21. Short return, but it's all a sliding scale here today for some of the trouble that the Tigers have had on special teams. I think they'll take the 15-yard return.
Jeff, this is just a different attitude that we're seeing from Golden West, and I think Riverside a little shell-shocked here.
Well, Michael, they're not doing themselves any favors, but I agree with the general principle. The Rustlers obviously come in. They bring it here at home. It's a physical play that you'll see from a Nick Mitchell coach team everywhere. And they're certainly not going to back down. This is a team they know very well despite the struggles lately in this matchup for Golden West.
Ooh.
Quick throw. Works was closing quickly, thinking about another pick six, but the catch is made. Williford picks his way forward to the 36. Good enough for a first down. 13 yards on the completion.
And notice how Golden West is starting to predict those curl routes. So RCC might start to change it. They might go those deep routes. They might run a post or just a simple slant. They're going to change things up unless they're going to give another interception back to Golden West.
1st and 10. Deep drop for Burns. Unloads. Looking and incomplete. It's dropped.
I mean, that's got 6 written all over it.
J.J. Hooper had both hands on it, and you better believe he'd love to have another shot at that football. Well, listen, sometimes you can prepare all you want, you can play all the great football you want. It never hurts to be a little lucky. And for Golden West, I think there's a good example of getting away with one, as Hooper had a great shot at that football for a big play, perhaps even a 6, and instead it's 2nd and 10.
It's better to be lucky and dominant.
So we'll see if the Rustlers can take advantage of that break. Tigers facing a 2nd and 10. Quick throw, threads it in, complete for a first down.
I got to say, that's one heck of a throw. Back shoulder, protects the receiver, moves the chains.
Cassius Asciani, who made the lone touchdown reception a week ago in the victory over Long Beach. The Tigers want to move quickly, play action, back to Asciani, who makes the catch to the 44, a gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 upcoming. They keep it in the air, and this time Asciani and Jones not on the same page. That thrown behind Asciani, who didn't get his head around at all. The only one with a shot at that football was Noel Vallejo, and he couldn't quite get there, which brings up a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah,
so the Tigers catch a break.
I think that was just an incorrect route by the receiver. Smith trying to find his receiver at the sticks. Instead, just a miscommunication, goes nowhere. Nearly picked again.
3rd and 5 from the 44. They'll empty the backfield. Blitz coming. Quick throw. Catch is made by Cox. Cox slips out of one tackle. And now he is swarmed under at the 38-yard line. They needed 5. Cox got 6.
Cox has flashed some speed on the outside. Quick, shifty receiver. You see him in the slot right there. Moves the chains with the first.
Yeah, able to get away from Samarian Hughes initially before Works able to wrap him up. But the good second effort from Cox gets the first down. The drive continues from the Golden West 37.
And you see Samarian Hughes really giving Cox a lot of cushion here. Wary of that speed.
Well, I think it's interesting that they dial up the blitz. They're going to try and get to Jones, but also give that little bit of cushion, still respecting that speed from Dominic Cox.
That's him.
Another quick throw back to Williford this time. And Williford finds a little lane down inside the 25. Good enough for another first down. Marcus Works again quickly there for the tackle. Tigers on the move, a little trouble on the exchange as they try the left side for a gain of about 3. First carry for Andre Branch. Brings up a 2nd down and 7. And the Tigers really picking up the pace here, Xander.
Trying to establish tempo. I think you got to be wary. They're going to give your defense a little bit more of a rest there.
And in fact, they'll give Branch 5 yards, call it 2nd down and 5. And now a timeout taken. And Golden West going to take their 3rd and final timeout.
Wow.
Here. And Xander, let's stay here just very quickly for a second. Last time it was a substitution they were trying to make, but I have the feeling this time it was a little more trouble adjusting to the pace as the Tigers pick up the pace on the no huddle. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, they got their substitutions in, so it obviously wasn't any personnel issues. I think it's just, hey, the coaches are realizing that Golden West is starting to fall off their toes, starting to fall asleep. They're kind of giving some cushion, and which is why they're going back to the curl routes. But coming near the end into the red zone, they got to apply that pressure. You cannot lay off even 1 yard because that might make the difference of a touchdown or a drop.
Well, not much margin for error now for the Rustlers, who are out of timeouts here in the first half with still 4:19 remaining in the first quarter. It's a 2nd and 5 from the Golden West 20. Rustlers on top 21-6 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Tigers in the red zone, 2nd and 5 from the 20. Jones off the back foot, able to get it out to Williford. That was a dangerous pass. Williford spins forward down close to the 10-yard line, good enough for a first down. And it was Andrew Jordan coming off the edge who was right in Jones' face. But Jones gets that ball out and finds Williford. That's an athletic play. They keep it on the ground, first down carry inside the 10. Divine Pearson, pickup of a couple. Well, they're going to give him 5 yards all the way down to the 4. 2nd and goal. Pearson remains in the backfield in the pistol formation. Pearson running right, cuts it back. He'll walk it in. That's a great job on the right side of that offensive line. Douglas Taluma, Simon Mayava with a great push. And Pearson, that's as easy as it gets from 4 yards out.
Yeah, and it's a great job by the guard and the tackle on the right side, just opening the floodgates for Pearson to walk in untouched to get them back in this game.
Yeah, Golden West done a pretty good job against the run here so far today, but that was the best push that we have seen from that Riverside offensive line, and it gets the touchdown. And again, when we talked to Nick Mitchell, said that Riverside, especially on that offensive line, they're big, they're physical. They can really start to push you around, and we need to make sure that that's not happening, because when they start running downhill, then it all starts flowing, and they can put the points on the board in a hurry. So the 4-yard run for Pearson. And now the extra point up and good for Padillo. Rustlers maintain the 8-point lead. As the Tigers answer back, it's 21-13 Golden West. It's Rustler football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Well, you know it's not going to be easy when you're working against the Riverside team. And again, they get the big play on defense to the Rustlers to get it back out to 15. But here come the Tigers once again as they put together another impressive drive. And this time they finish it with the 4-yard run for Divine Pearson. Pearson had 3 touchdowns on the ground in the win against Long Beach a week ago. So already 4 touchdowns on the ground for Divine Pearson here in 2024. So a penalty on the extra point will be assessed on the kickoff, and Tigers will tee it up from midfield. And they're going to drill this one about 5 yards deep. They'll try to bring it out. And out to about the 15, maybe even a little shy. No, they'll spot it at the 15, but I'm not sure about that decision to bring it out from about 5 yards deep.
Yeah, decision making, not the greatest on that play.
Yeah, I was just about to ask in that situation when you teed up from the 50, why there isn't more thought to trying to squib it down inside the 10. really force the return because you're going to be able to get down so much more quickly on coverage working from the 50, because most of the time teams are content to drill it about 5-10 yards deep into that end zone and let them start from the 25. But I would think about trying to place it down there inside the 10 and let your coverage have a chance. But there's a reason that I'm up here and not on the sideline. Burns could be a broken play. Just tries to get what he can.
Yeah, Jeff, I think you make a good point. And how about taking it a step further? How about trying an onside from the 50 when you have 15 yards?
It's true. Even if it doesn't go your way, the least you do is give away reasonably good field position, but not a terribly short field. Meanwhile, that was a change in quarterback. That's Camden Stigler.
What number is the center?
On for Burns, and Stigler did see action a week ago. So it's not out of left field. Stigler on a designed roll, throws, finds Sarmiento for a first down. Forced out of bounds at the 27, already the fourth catch for Sarmiento here in the first half. 11 yards and a first down for Golden West.
And I love the offensive setup. Burns understanding that tackle is going to come across the field, looking like his blind side is just going to run straight at him, but he's running out of the pocket with him to Sarmiento. These are some good plays that are written up for Golden West.
Yeah, so Stigler with his first drive will work from pistol formation. Bad snap. He's just going to have to fall on it. This is going to be a big loss back inside the 20. A loss of 8. So bring up a second down and 18. Some changes on the offensive line, as one might expect for Golden West, but a notable change. They're a little beaten up at the tackle spot, and Ben Falatoy moves from his guard spot out to right tackle here today. So the Rustlers early having to do some juggling on that offensive line. Second down carry and a gain of about 3 yards. Kendrick Thomas gets his first carry, and it'll bring up a third down and long for Golden West as we wind 1:36 and counting remaining in the opening quarter.
Yeah, and that run right there, obviously trying to get the first down, but that one kind of seemed a bit of a give up. Just try to get some yardage, and maybe if you can get a first down right here, if not, you just punt it, but you're in better field position than you would want to be.
Yeah, trying to make it a little more manageable, and that's all they really did as it's 3rd and 16. About 3 yards. Stigler in the pocket, and now hit and brought down for a sack. The ball came out late. Let's see what the call is. It's a turnover. Stigler fumbled. The Tigers have it. And Asaya Bogar came out with the football after getting there first and forcing the fumble. And if that name sounds familiar, there's good reason. Bogar, returning sophomore, 11.5 sacks a year ago, and returns on that defensive line. He was instrumental in the championship win against San Mateo when he was in that San Mateo backfield over and over in the 24-21 win in the championship game a year ago. And he gets there quickly on Stigler, forces the fumble, and now a short field for the Tigers, who are looking to potentially tie it up. First down carry, gain of a couple. Andre Branch on the carry, brought down by Samarian Hughes. 2nd and goal. The football resting on the Golden West 8-yard line, under a minute to go, opening quarter. Branch remains in the game, gets the carry, tries that right side again. Tripped up inside the 5. It'll bring up a 3rd and goal. Jesse Schumacher, who missed the Bakersfield game a week ago, a returning sophomore at the linebacker spot, able to bring Branch down, leaving a 3rd and goal from the 5. Will the Tigers look to run one more play here in the first quarter? Hooper out solo to the left. Branch in the pistol formation. Jones rolling right, throws, looking for Cox again. No signal yet. Cox has it for the touchdown with 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 2nd touchdown reception for Cox, but hold everything, might have a flag.
That's not even close.
Well, I believe there was a call before the snap even. That flag came in. Let's see what the call is.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so they're going to.
Free play anyway.
Okay, so let's reset the situation. The initial call overturned, that pass incomplete looking for Cox, but the offsides call against Golden West will leave a 3rd and goal from just inside the 3. So the Rustlers going to have to come up with another stop. On the ground, Branch, again, great push on that right side. That was shades of the run from Pearson a little bit earlier in the quarter, and again, great push on the right side. Mayava, Taluma, both returning sophomores on the right side of that Riverside offensive line. They get themselves going downhill, and it's easy for Andre Branch from 3 yards out. 21-19. Tigers not going to go for the tie. They'll line up for the extra point. This the final play of the first quarter. Now, Mike, we were in Ventura a week ago, and we said take the over, and I think we're heading over here as well.
Informational purposes only.
Right, yeah, exactly. Nobody actually wagers on these games. That might be true here.
I think you and I both know the answer to that.
Okay, so
Someone
offsetting
somewhere
penalties after the play, personal fouls on both teams. 21-19.
Yeah, they need
Extra
to fix
point coming.
They need to fix the scoreboard here. There we go.
Placement down, kick is up, and good.
We got a flag, I think.
Through one quarter, another flag down.
I'm surprised you just bullied your way in from the 3-yard line. Why wouldn't you go for 2 there? You're down 2. A lot of game left to be played. I think that's the end of the quarter.
3 quarters still to go. We're through one. Golden West on top of Riverside, 21-20. It's Golden West College football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. So the penalty on the extra point was against Golden West, and Riverside going to take the point off the board, take the penalty, and now they'll try for 2 after half the distance is assessed. But they're not going to get there. Unbelievable push. Andrew Jordan leading the way for the Rustlers. No chance on the 2-point conversion. The give was to Brandon McMasters, but McMasters was swarmed under as soon as he got the football. So the score now 21-19 through one quarter here from Golden West College. Right, Jesus. Underway in the second quarter. Back to a 2-point game. Golden West on top. And a couple of good moves for Colin Payne on the return. Slips out of another tackle at the 35. Late flag comes in, but what a return for Colin Payne as the Rustlers answer back. Let's see what the flag is. Again, referee George Arredondo. Well, I think it's safe to say that special teams has been dominated so far by Golden West through a little over one quarter. And that has been instrumental. The Rustlers maintaining this 2-point lead. They'll huddle up on the call. It came in about midfield, did the flag. So this is not necessarily where you would expect an illegal block. And instead it's going to go against Riverside. So tack on a little more yardage onto that return. This is going to take it into Riverside territory.
And what a good job by Colin Payne just to get them in this situation at the 40-yard line and now getting them into Riverside territory. Off to a good start, but looking at it so far through the first quarter, we've only seen a total of 60 yards from Golden West. Granted, they've been put in short positions, but they've got them done. But we need to see them in the longer game because RCC has a total of 167.
Yeah. Can the Rustlers take the football down a long field? We've seen them do it a couple of times on short fields. Straight ahead for a gain of about 3. Beck Walker on the carry. Walker, just his 3rd carry now for 10 yards. They'll give him a couple of yards on the gain, leaving a 2nd down and 8. Rustlers negative rushing yards in the first quarter. It was largely Burns on a couple of touchdown passes. For the offense, Burns at the controls here, completes the outside to the 42. Hideo Ray with the reception and a 3rd down and about 3 upcoming for the Rustlers, who are 0 of 2 on 3rd down so far today. And again, you want to take advantage of every opportunity. You need to take advantage of every opportunity playing against Riverside. The Rustlers have had a couple. This is another one with a short field. Burns, good coverage, buys some time, tries to squeeze it in, and it's incomplete. Now a late flag comes in. Linton had the coverage on Trey Nelson. But this may go against Riverside. Penalties, not a huge storyline so far today. 4 penalties for 19 yards for Golden West, 2 for 20 yards for Riverside. So no call, and it'll be 4th down. So they're going to pick up the flag.
Yeah, I
got a hand in working against Nelson.
Yeah, I didn't see much going on there. I thought they would maybe call pass interference, but even that was a bit of a stretch. But kind of interesting not putting in a guy like Walker for 3rd down and now 4th down. I would expect, especially 3rd and short, why don't you get your bruiser running back to run up the middle and just get you that 1st down? But coming out into a passing play and all short curl routes or out routes, definitely a bit questionable here.
I think it's surprising, too, on the last play, certainly for this play. And again, the Rustlers don't have any timeouts, so they can't buy a little time here to make a decision on a 4th and short from the 42. I'm not sure that Robert Sarmiento was out on the field for that 3rd down play. You would think that Sarmiento would be a good place to go on a 3rd and short, but not on the field. At least he wasn't as they lined up to potentially go for it on 4th down. So the Tigers come up with a big stop after they give up a relatively short field. Aaron Stock back in punt formation. Flags before the snap, and this is going to go against Golden West. So the false start.
Repeat 4th down.
We'll back it up.
Well, we were talking about the mistakes made by Golden West. They just can't seem to get down the smaller things in this game. Definitely RCC having troubles on special teams and the pick six, but other than that, they've been a pretty clean group. Golden West, little things, not knowing how much time you have left on the clock, having the wrong personnel in, not knowing when to substitute, it's just becoming a bit questionable now.
They'll kick from the 48. Stock gets it away, short kick. Fair catch signaled for, but they're going to let this one bounce. It will take a Golden West bounce. And they'll down it at the 21. That's a kick of just 32 yards. No return, and Riverside takes over 13:30 remaining in the first half, and a chance now for the Tigers any kind of score here. And they would have their first lead of the day. It's been a busy afternoon already for Brady Jones, who's 14 of 19 for 148 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but the Tigers have been content to try and move the ball primarily through the air. At least so far, but they're starting to run downhill a little bit. We saw at the goal line, quick throw again, and complete to Cox, out to the 26, a gain of 5. So right down near the goal line, they've been able to get a little push on that offensive line, but generally speaking, not a lot of success running the football so far for the Tigers, but Jones has really been able to move the football with short passing. And he'll go to the air again, throws over the middle and completes. Good for a first down.
Yeah, haven't been the best at running the ball when it comes to outside of the red zone, but coming into the red zone, look at those linebackers. They can't be reading the ball right.
Kevon Collins with the reception. They lob looking for Williford. What a pass from Jones. Catch is made. Hughes able to force Williford out of bounds. No, he's still going. Down inside the 40, and finally they bring him down. This is an unbelievable throw from Jones. A late flag comes in. It's a gain of 29 yards on the completion to Williford.
Yeah, and Golden West caring too much about the fumble, not just trying to take the guy down, at least out of bounds. Worrying too much about trying to get that ball out, gave up even about 80 more yards than what he should have gotten.
And give Williford some credit, too. Didn't stop working. Tried to get what yardage he could. Caden Williford, all of 5'11", 190 pounds, but pushing the pile. Meanwhile, Riverside coaches are hot, so preliminarily you wonder if maybe some of this yardage is coming back. George Arredondo with the call.
Foul. Offense number 7. It'll be a 15-yard penalty on the personal foul. It'll still be first down.
So 15 yards coming back as the call on Williford. I don't know if we have the replay at the end there to see. It looked like it happened very late in the play. It'll bring it back to midfield where it will be 1st and 10. Let's see if we have this down at the field. Yeah, it's a great view of it. There you see Williford working. And let's just run out a bit. Oh, we didn't quite get the end there, but it happened somewhere in the next couple seconds, one would assume after that, because the penalty came in after the play was over. And now some movement on the left side of that Riverside offensive line as the Pirates were showing blitz. Freshman David Trujillo. I hate to call out the big guys just for the penalties. That's why I always want to try and find a way to talk about the good work that they're doing throughout the game.
Yeah, you have to imagine that was going to be a deep passing play because they're trying to read blitz.
So 1st and 15, quick throw on the slant, catch is made to the 45, still looking for a lane at the 40. Flags are down at the 36, 19 yards. The completion to Ross Nixon. And Ross Nixon, the third, with some good running after the catch, gets it all the way to the Golden West 36. That's good enough for a first down. But let's see about the flag. And there you see the flag coming in. And it's going to go against Riverside. So again, Riverside making it tough on themselves on this drive. Bring it back to the Golden West 46, where it will be 1st and 7.
And now 3 mistakes in a row for RCC. They're going to have to clean stuff up. Again, we saw a lot of penalties in the last game, but they really need to clean it up here if they want to take the lead.
And Brady Jones picking up for Jordan Barton, who was sensational a year ago, and picking up right where he left off, but he loses the football. The Rustlers have it. That one looked like it was stripped out. Was it perhaps Viramontes coming off the edge who got an arm in and knocked that one loose? Golden West forces a huge turnover. Yeah, it looked like Viramontes. Got a hand in, and right there on the spot, Josh Clark falls on it at the Riverside 48. That is a lifeline for the Rustlers in a game that they're leading by 2. The Tigers really starting to impose themselves offensively. And in fact, were it not for the penalties, by the Tigers themselves likely would have been in the red zone, if not further, on that drive. And the Rustlers come up with a big play, forcing the turnover, and they take over at the Riverside 48. Aaron Mitchell, his first carry, nothing doing. Lost a yard on the play. Looked like Gerlaire Irvin might have gotten there quickly, trying to get the number. But either way, it's good push, I should say. Makai Sagau from that defensive tackle spot was in the backfield in a hurry. 2nd down and 12. Blitz coming, straight drop. Burns gonna run, has some running room. He's at the 40, at the 35, angles out of bounds inside the 30. Well, you talked at the top about Burns and what he could do with his legs. That time found some open field.
Yeah, and Burns doing a good job reading the blitz, seeing the pocket opening up for him that he could run up the gut and just take it outside for a big gain.
Yeah, able to get out of the reach of Taven Anderson. And once he did, he had open field, 22-yard run, and a 1st down for Golden West at the Riverside 28. 1st down carry, a gain of perhaps a yard. Kendrick Thomas on the carry. They'll give him 2 yards to the Riverside 26. 10-15 and counting remaining in the first half. Beck Walker returns in the backfield. Trey Nelson solo to the right for the 2nd and 8 play. Another blitz coming for the Tigers. Good protection. Burns with time. Pop flies looking for Nelson. It's incomplete. Nelson wants a flag. I'll tell you what, I am not sure. We'll watch on the coverage. Was it Linton out there? Let's see if we can see on the coverage, but I'm not sure that we saw that head get around. Yeah, it's Linton. And Linton, you know, Xander, he's making no effort to get his head around and find that football.
Yeah, Linton not even turning his head. Trey Nelson pretty much slowing down and telling him that the ball is coming, so he's just throwing his hands up and hopefully he can do something about it, and no call there is insane.
3rd and 8, deep drop for Burns, and the pass incomplete. Burns throwing off the back foot. He was looking for Ray once again, but the coverage was very good. And that'll bring up 4th down. A field goal attempt from this spot would be 44 yards. Going back to last week, Fernando Mancia was 2 of 3 with a long of 41 yards in the win at Bakersfield. But it is breezy, and the wind appears to be in the face of Golden West as they work it from left to right. So Nick Mitchell will elect to go for it on a 4th and 8. Burns, play clock at 6. Again, Golden West with no timeouts. Here comes the blitz. Burns looking over the middle. The catch is made, but short of the 1st down, going back to Ray. And Ray gets about 3 yards. They needed 8, and the football will go back to Riverside. So Golden West now 0 of 2 on 4th down here today.
And that one felt more personal of we just got the fumble recovery. We got to get this first down. We got to do something here. It wasn't about getting points. It was just about getting that touchdown. Obviously, we did see a missed call with the pass interference, but that felt kind of the ego of we got to get this first down because we should have it anyways.
So instead, the Tigers will have the ball. They did burn a little time on the clock, give that defense a rest, but a big run on first down. Pearson finds some running room.
Sort of had it.
That far and away the best run on the day for the Tigers. Out to the 42, a gain of 21 yards. And right away, the Tigers approaching midfield. Again, working behind the sophomores on the right side of that offensive line. They'll try again. Pearson trying to follow Taluma. Gain of a yard.
Notice the difference in both those runs. Pearson running to the outside with the guard pulling him, leaving wide open for the linebackers to try to make a play, and they're not able to do that. It's a lot different than just running up the gut and trying to make contact.
Jones looking left, looking for Cox, and he just overshot his target. Works was in the area with the coverage, but Cox was open, and a rare misfire from Brady Jones leaves a 3rd down and 10.
We're also seeing a miscue from the safeties and the nickel corner. Playing different zones here. They're trying to pass off certain players, but it doesn't seem to be working, and it's kind of messing up with 27 and 5 out there.
Riverside 3 of 5 on 3rd down, facing a 3rd and 10. Jones, flush from the pocket, still looking. Williford absorbs a big hit and can't hold on to the football. I'll tell you, that was a heck of a stick. And Williford, give him a lot of credit going over the middle because he took a shot. Couldn't quite bring this in. Let's watch here and tell me about how physical it gets down there, Xander.
Oh, it gets pretty physical, and the timing matters a lot. As you can see.
Yeah, Terahidi Wolf. That is just a massive shot. And is that Williford perhaps still down? One could hardly blame him. No flags. So 4th down coming up, and Golden West going to get it back, and Williford is up, and obviously that's a very good sign. He'll walk off under his own power, but Wolf, and as you say, great timing, and at our look at that, a clean hit from Terahidi Wolf, just great football in that secondary, but Wolf bringing the lumber.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of little seconds of when you can hit that guy, because as soon as he makes contact with the ball, you are allowed to go after him. So all that matters is too of the timing, him coming in from behind to take him out low so he is not able to make that catch. Taking also out a good weapon like Williford like that is also key in this game.
Yeah, they'll take a look, no doubt, at Caden Williford, who got his bell rung pretty good on that play. But again, showed great toughness. He's up, he's walking off. He's ready to go. Rustlers will get it back. They lead by 2, 21-19, 8:37 remaining here in the first half. Entertaining first half. A lot of action in this one.
Yeah, and it's good to see Williford come off on his own. No help needed for him. It's always nice to see those guys back in after big hits.
Better kick from Hausman. Over the head of Burdick. This is going to take a great bounce for the Tigers. Now it's a foot race. Down to the goal line. It looks like it just gets in. Well, I'll tell you what. Give Joshua Hausman some credit because he had a nightmare scenario in his first attempt off the side of the foot. I think might have been given it too much credit for how much he got of the football the first time he went to kick, but that was a much better kick. Took a great hop for Riverside, ends up being a 58-yard punt, but he was inches away from pinning him at about their own 1-yard line.
Yeah, and a very close gamble by Wolf. Letting that one bounce, hoping that it would go to end zone, is slowly rolling.
Yeah.
You were thinking maybe it would stop at the 1.
Tigers were given chase, and the Rustlers do well to emerge and start from their own 20. Burns back on at the controls for the Rustlers receivers left and right. 3-man rush, they set up the screen. Good running room out to the 25, brought down at the 26. 6 yards. finding Thomas coming out of the backfield.
6-yard gain on the play, second down.
So Kendrick Thomas. Again, Thomas, a little different dynamic. We saw Aaron Mitchell very briefly. We've seen Beck Walker, and Thomas a little more flat-out speed at that running back spot. So it gives a little different dimension to the running game. That time able to get into a little bit of space on the screen pass for a gain of 6. Second down and 4. Thomas on the carry. Dragging a tackler near the first down marker, but he's about a yard shy to bring up a 3rd down and 1. And meanwhile, we do have a Tiger player down. Is that Bogar? I believe it might be Isaiah Bogar still down. So they'll come out and take a look at Bogar's standout sophomore on that defensive line. And don't want to speculate too far on this one, but it is starting to warm up a little bit out here as well. And you hope, obviously, that it's something imminently treatable for Isaiah Bogar. We'll take a brief injury timeout, 7:28 remaining in the second quarter. Golden West on top of Riverside, 21-19 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Third and 1 from the 29. Thomas remains in the game in the backfield. Jumbo package for Golden West. Still 0 for on 3rd down in the game. 0 for 4. And some trouble on the exchange. The ball still loose. Picked up by the Tigers. Tigers with a chance to return the favor with a defensive touchdown of their own. Raymond Valencia crowding the line from his safety spot. And the Rustlers couldn't corral that football, and Valencia gets there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird setup because we saw the D lineman Javon Taylor coming in. Maybe a fullback quick handoff to him for just a 1-yard first down gain, but couldn't even handle the ball there.
Well, we saw a pick 6 earlier for the Rustlers to give them their largest lead at 21-6. Since then, it's the Tigers who have come back with now 20 unanswered as the extra point is up and good, and a defensive touchdown of their own. First forced turnover. Should say they did have a fumble recover earlier, but they had no turnovers forced a week ago in the win over Long Beach. But they forced a couple here in the first half, and that is enormous as it gives the Tigers the lead with 7:13 remaining. But again, going back to that play, it looked like trouble right away on the snap with a package that we don't often see from Golden West. So maybe a little different personnel package on the field. And we've talked a little bit about some of the early season miscues that maybe we're seeing here today on both sides. But obviously that's a little different package for Golden West with disastrous results.
Yeah, and right away it looked like either Burns was going to just QB sneak it straight up the middle, or he was going to pass it on to the D lineman Javon Taylor as a fullback run. It was a bit of a questionable decision because, again, why don't you have a guy like Beck Walker out there to just run it up the gut? He makes contact with guys, but he still trucks them over, and he'll still get the yardage that you needed. You were 3rd and 1, and for some reason, we're going to maybe an outside run or some form of that.
Yeah, a little attempt at maybe some misdirection, and instead, Tigers force the turnover and get the immediate touchdown. Payne on the return. A little hop out toward the 25. And now it's all Riverside and 7:04 remaining in the first half, and it's the Rustlers who badly need a shift in momentum here. 20 unanswered for the Tigers.
Yeah, they're struggling to answer RCC on offense and now struggling to answer them on defense. Again, we do go back to the miscue of the pass interference that was not called, but still, that doesn't matter. You just got to start taking points at this point. That field goal is now costly because instead of being down by just 2, now you're chasing 5. Yeah,
Golden West now 0 of 5 on 3rd down in the game. having some trouble moving the football, particularly in the running game where they're averaging less than a yard per carry here in the first half, but Sarmiento continues to be a weapon. Makes the catch out to the 37, a gain of 12, immediately moves the chains. Blair Silva Viella on the stop. But Sarmiento now, I believe, with 5 catches in the first half already. Walker back on now, following his left guard, but not much doing. And again, Xander less than 1 yard per carry. You wonder at some level if that didn't play into an attempt maybe for a little misdirection. They are not having much success just lining up and running the football.
Yeah, and especially trying to run up the gut. They haven't found their way to get running some halfback stretches or halfback toss on the outside. Trying to go up against, maybe trusting their guards and centers more than they trust their tackles and maybe the tight end that's in the 11 personnel. But we will see as the game goes on what exactly they're going to establish as their offense.
2nd down and 8. 3-man rush. Burns looking for a lane. He's got running room. He'll slide down in Riverside territory at the 46. 15 yards and a first down for Golden West.
And it may be even establishing a run with Will Burns. We obviously saw he was a lead rusher in the last game. So maybe he just comes back in and shows that he can move with his legs, that improviser quarterback. You don't see anybody downfield, well, go run it. There's nobody up the middle that will go after you.
Yeah, that's what happened last week. The running game was really built around Will Burns, if not by design, certainly by opportunity. First down carry, Mitchell finds a little running room down to the 41. Gain of 5. Valencia eventually drags him down, but that may be as good a push in that offensive line as we've seen.
Yeah, and while Beck Walker is the contact guy, Kendrick Thomas and Aaron Mitchell are going to have the guys that are elusive, go out in space and just make moves happen.
Yeah, left guard Wesley Hauk able to open up a little lane for Mitchell. Mitchell tries to stretch it to the far side, and a gain of a couple and a massive 3rd down and 2 for Golden West from the 39. We've seen them go 4 downs a couple of times already from about this spot on the field in this first half. And you got to believe this is another spot where it will get strong consideration. It's a 3rd and 2 at the Riverside 39. Nelson and Burdick split out to the right. They send Ray in motion. Blitz coming. Ray with the catch, has the first down. Tiptoes the near side. Inside the 30, good for a first down. Excellent pitch and catch. Burns finding Ray. We have a Tiger player down. 4:08 remaining in the first half. The Rustlers trying to answer back. Riverside leading 26-21. Golden West College football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. First and 10 for the Rustlers from the Riverside 26. As it's the Rustlers who now are answering back from adversity with a sustained drive. Fresh set of downs, low snap, but Burns comes up with it. Burns trying to get the edge, able to get by Anderson and find a little running room down that far side. Good speed from Will Burns as Anderson gave chase, but could not corral him. There you see the speed of Will Burns. An official timeout on the field. It ended up being 11 yards for Burns, so he immediately moves the chains.
Yeah, and a good job by Burns to get outside to just get no cover on him as he's able to get that first down. But kind of a miscue by Mickelson. He's missing his block. Why doesn't he go out there for a pass? And maybe if Burns doesn't have that room to run, he can just quickly pass it to Mickelson for the first down. Because again, you were third and short. You're not third and long, so you can do that.
So Walker remains in the backfield behind Burns. We're set to go. Under 4 minutes to go. Fresh set of downs for Golden West. On the Riverside 15. Read option and a big hit in the backfield. That was massive, no chance. Jesus Venegas practically got the handoff for Will Burns. He was back there so quickly.
Yeah, Burns misread the RPO. Ray looked like he was open in space coming on the outside, and with some blockers, he could have gotten at least a couple yardage. May not the touchdown, but at least he would get upfield.
Well, you lose an all-conference, all-state standout like Asaya Bogar, and here comes a guy like Jesus Venegas who can make a play like that. And it shows you the depth that the Tigers bring to the table. 2nd and 13. Burns rainbows the far side. Incomplete. Fantastic coverage. Ashad Chapman working one-on-one against Colin Payne.
Yeah, looking quick over to see where the ball was at, and just a great coverage right there. Stopping 13 from even getting close to touching that ball.
Yeah, Ashad Chapman, 6'3", 195-pound freshman. And he's locked up with Colin Payne. That's a great job. 3rd down and 13 coming up for Golden West. Well, they're much more in field goal range now. It would be just 30 yards, and the wind has calmed as well. So figure this to be a good spot for a field goal if they can't get it. The throw into the end zone, looking for Ray, and it's incomplete. And now did a late flag come in? Let's see on the replay here. Working against Linton. Well, less there than I think a notable no call from early in the first half, but.
Defense.
No, they're going to get Linton.
We're outside the 17 at the half.
Yeah, we can run that one more time, perhaps. There's an awful lot of contact when that ball's in the air. Keep an eye right about here coming up.
Yeah, where we're seeing 13, he is blocking 20 with his arm. He's out about round neck range under his helmet. Kind of, I would say blinded him a little bit. But that is where the contact is made, where you say that is a pass interference because there's too much just right by the face mask.
It almost looked to me more like defensive holding, like really impeding Ray from getting to his spot. But the ball was in the air, and the call goes against Riverside. That's a huge call instead of the 3rd down stop. And the Rustlers perhaps having to settle for a field goal attempt instead. It's now 1st and goal from the 3 after they assess the penalty, and a chance for the Rustlers to grab the lead. Aaron Mitchell back in the backfield with Burns.
And Golden West now in the driver's seat. You got 2:40 left in this half. They get the ball after the half is over, going into the second half. So if you can get a touchdown here and hold RCC to no score, you're going to put yourself in a good position to get even more.
Okay, so 1st and goal from the 8. As the Rustlers are backed up 5 yards, but penalties been more of a bane for the Tigers, certainly in this first half. And now another whistle comes in. Busy afternoon already for our officiating crew.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
Okay, well now it's 1st and goal back to the 3, so they trade 5-yard penalties and illegal substitution. Well, you keep an eye out for Robert Sarmiento in that slot on the left side, now starting to move. As they'll send Nelson, Burdick, and Sarmiento out to the right. 1st and goal from the 3. Payne solo to the left.
I imagine Sarmiento maybe in a motion and 13 running the slants.
Instead, it's Mitchell, one man to beat, but he's dragged down. Gain of a yard.
Yeah, I had it good.
Oh, watch here. Mitchell really left about one-on-one. Yeah, that's Juwan Nixon. It's a good job by Nixon. Second down carry, not getting in. And now it's third down. And was that Camden Stiegler coming on as well?
Timeout.
And now Riverside going to take their first charge timeout. Third and goal from the Tiger 1. 2:05 remaining in the first half. Riverside on top of Golden West, 26-21. Third and goal from the 1. And whistles before the snap. Riverside still with 2 timeouts. Golden West, no timeouts remaining. Burns.
Dead ball. Illegal substitution. 12 after the timeout. Half the distance. Repeat. Third down.
So half the distance on the illegal substitution. That probably picked him up a foot. So Beck Walker in the deep eye. They go to the jumbo package again. Do the Rustlers. Third and goal from inside the 1. Burns will work from under center. See if Burns keeps it. No, quick pitch. Walker hit behind the line, falls forward. No signal yet. And he didn't get there.
That penalty's declined. The result of the play.
No, he did get
touchdown.
in. Okay. So Walker, with the terrific effort, was hit initially behind the line, but kept churning the legs and does get over. There was an offsides against Riverside. That declined, and Golden West does grab the lead. And I like the courage of the call after that disastrous last play in the jumbo package to not only go back to it, which you absolutely would expect, but even to go with the quick pitch, which is an intricate play. But, Xander, they pull it off. Walker gets in.
Yeah, and it's a bit of an option play. You either give it to Javon Taylor, who just runs it up the gut, and a big guy like him probably gets that half a yard that you need. But no, a quick flip to Walker, who is your goal line back, going to get that touchdown, and that's exactly what he did.
They'll go for 2. Burns looking in the flat, incomplete. He was looking for Walker coming out of the backfield. So the Rustlers unable to convert, and with 2:01 remaining in the first half, Golden West back out in front by 1, 27-26. It's Rustler football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Rustlers back out in front. The Tigers with 2 timeouts and 2 minutes and 1 second on the clock to try and answer back here late in the first half. Kick away. Short kick. This will be taken at the 11. More trouble handling the kick. This is going to be a fairly short return. No, now some running room. Big play. Marquise Monroe after having some trouble. And here in our relatively open air booth where we're working from, you can feel there's some wind down there. And I start to wonder when I see some of the trouble handling some of the kicks out there if the wind isn't having a little bit of an impact when handling kicks out there today.
Oh, it definitely puts something into this game because you see the wind is going from south to north, as you can tell by the goalpost. But it kind of brings the ball just not even by much, by a little bit inwards. So when that guy is coming for it to receive it right, what he expects to right into his chest, it's coming a little bit out in front and popping right through his arms. Yeah,
we've seen a couple of miscues trying to handle the football, particularly on the kickoffs. So we have a 2-minute warning, 1:51 remaining in the first half. Plenty of time after the good return by Monroe, who appeared to be in some trouble, but then got it all the way out to the 39. So the Tigers, with good field position to work with, down 1. We'll step aside briefly. SoCalCollegeSports.com. Jones flanked by Pearson. Receivers left and right. 1st and 10, Tigers at the 39. Now they'll empty the backfield, sending Pearson in motion. 4-man rush. Quick throw over the middle. Catch is made. Back to Williford. Williford forced out of bounds in Rustler territory at the 47, but not before he picks up 14 yards. Williford starting to put together a very good first half, approaching 100 yards through the air. After that catch, he's up over 90 yards. They spot it at the 46. Jones to Pearson in the flat. Gain of about 4. Jaden Jackson forcing Pearson out of bounds. We've talked a lot about Will Burns. They only give him 2 yards. They'll spot it at the 44, where it'll be 2nd and 8. Quick throw, incomplete, and again, that's similar to a play we saw in the first quarter as he was looking for Cox, and I'm not sure that Cox and Jones were on the same page there.
Yeah, a bit of a miscue right there, just not the timing that they want to get. Brady's still doing a great job, though, 18 for 25 and 211 yards. Yes. Obviously doing something here.
6'4", 195 pounds, and we didn't have much chance to talk about it because on the throw that he made to Williford, there was the big hit from Wolf, and we ended up talking about that. But Jones has a cannon back there as well. That was a throw on the run, and he delivered a strike. So strong-armed, big body, Brady Jones, and we've been impressed here in this first half, facing a 3rd and 8 from the 44. 3-man rush. Jones stepping up, directing traffic downfield. Now running out of room. This one's picked off. Jaden Jackson stepping in front. Jones
that was a poor
with
decision.
The interception. Sorry, Michael.
Poor decision there, Jeffrey. That's one where you just throw it away and wait for the next play. You had 2 timeouts. Now, minute 23, no timeouts. Rustlers take over.
Yeah.
Jeff, getting some clarification on the call earlier, the missed defensive pass interference. Pretty obvious that there was defensive pass interference. You saw an arm wrapped around the offensive player down. This is a 2 before. The rule in college is you don't have to have your head turned around. But obviously you can't be having hands if you're not playing the ball on the offensive player. It should have been defensive pass interference. Now, the one after that, that was not defensive pass interference. So
typical. I was almost accidentally right after being specifically wrong. 2nd down and 10. Going back to the interception, Tough situation for Jones facing a third down, obviously feeling as though he had to make a play, but he does take something of a risk there, trying to squeeze it in, as Golden West comes away with much better field position than if Jones elects to not take that risk and perhaps kick the ball away. So instead, the Rustlers go to work from their own 35 with a chance to perhaps extend on the lead, though again, they have no timeouts remaining. Burns on a designed roll. Dumps it short through the arms of Sarmiento. Tamiko Jackson delivering the hit on Sarmiento, but that is a rare drop on a ball that perhaps could have been caught for Robert Sarmiento.
Yeah, and even just gets a quick yardage. Granted, you do not want the clock running. You got 0 timeouts, and you're trying to get downfield because, yes, you get the ball back at half.
Yeah, 3rd down and 10. It's an interesting spot for the Rustlers. They do, as you say, get the ball first to start the 3rd quarter, and I have the feeling that if they could take a 1-point lead into the locker room, they'd take it in this situation right now. Even with the football, as that one's incomplete. Looking for Beck Walker, and instead it's 4th and 10, and the Tigers will get it back with some time, probably right around a minute remaining with a couple of timeouts.
Yeah, and especially with no timeouts whatsoever, and RCC, maybe you want to try to burn one of those timeouts. Maybe you run the ball on 3rd down, just realizing we're probably not going to get a 1st down, or we probably can't drive down the whole length of the field with 1 minute left. So let's just burn that clock. Let's see if they're going to waste a timeout right there.
Stock back in punt formation. Good snap. Another high kick, but short. So the Tigers going to come away with good field position. It does take a Rustler bounce, but comes to rest at the 40. So plenty of time. 57 seconds and a relatively short field. Pedro Padilla, 1 for 1 a week ago with a long of 40 yards. So you figure a little bit of wind behind. You need a good 30 yards or so to get into Padilla's range. So we're not done yet here in this first half. 57 seconds. Jones in the pocket, incomplete, off the hands of Hooper.
Yeah, but we also need to talk about the way RCC plays. A lot of this running gun stuff, even with a minute left, they do have a good shot of getting down the field because we've seen them in 30 seconds get all the way to the red zone.
Yep. Certainly have big play potential. Meanwhile, Jones already 20 of 29 and looking to throw again. And incomplete, looking for Cox, who was well covered by Brandon Soleau.
You have to imagine with all these miscues, is it on Brady Jones or is it on his receiving weapons that are either misreading routes or misreading when they're supposed to see towards the ball?
Well, there was a push in the interior of that defensive line. That throw looked like it came off the back foot for Jones, who pop flies. Once again, incomplete. Omar Hammond with what might be his first target of the first half, and he was in space once again, but unable to connect for the Tigers, and a quick 3 and out, so the Rustlers able to get the quick stop. They'll get it back with 41 seconds, and you wonder, Xander, if the Rustlers won't be content to just head to the locker room here. They've got the lead late in the first half.
Well, maybe they'll see on the kick if they're going to try to return it all. If
Yep.
they just fair catch it, then most likely they will just take the knees, go to the end of the half with a 1-point lead.
Yeah, it's been an eventful first half. I mean, big plays are happening left and right here. Special teams, defensive touchdowns. We've seen it all. Nearly another one there as Hausman is able to make the athletic play to come up with that football. That is disaster averted for the Tigers. Potentially the Rustlers will have it at their 25-yard line with 30 seconds remaining. But at this point, if I'm either coach on either sideline, thinking, let's just get to the locker room here, because we have seen a lot that puts gray hair on the head of coaches in this first half.
Yeah, and there's a lot that needs to be talked about for both teams on a lot of the miscues, a lot of the flags.
Yeah.
Just a lot of small things that are happening that are turning into big things as this game goes on. So they're going to want to get to the locker room as soon as possible just so they can have that conversation as long as possible.
And I don't think either – certainly we had the opportunity to speak briefly with Nick Mitchell this week, and talked about having this matchup early in the season versus later in the season when they've often seen Riverside in the past, maybe even in the playoffs. And what does he make of that? And he says, well, we're a young team, so it's not great always to, have a really, really tough game when you're still kind of working with a little bit of inexperience in a young team, but we'll see what we're doing. And he's got to like overall what he's seen here in the first 30 minutes. The Rustlers going to head to the locker room with a 1-point lead on the number 1 team in the state and the defending champs. 27-26 as we head to halftime. Here from Golden West College, it's Rustler football on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
So first contestant here, what's your name? Caleb. All right, Caleb, you are up. No pressure, man. All right, can I get a little bit of cheering for a free Chick-fil-A sandwich? There we go, line it up. Looks like a pro. Here. So everybody, in just a minute, we will pass out free DOC cards in the audience. So stay where you're at. We'll come to you. So do we have another football for another try? All right, no. What's your name? No pressure, man. Oh, dude. No, you're already here, man. I'm going to put the pressure on here. What's your name? Lucas. All right, Lucas. No pressure, man. You already made it. But we want to see for your friends and family whether you can make it. There we go. The pressure's off. Hey! There we go. All right, good job, fellas. All right, so I have one more surprise here. We had people follow our Instagram for a free gift bag. It's on your read the winner. The winner is Liz Anna 2011. If that's your Instagram handle, please meet us over here at the Chick-fil-A tent to claim your prize. Thank y'all so much. In just a second, we'll be handing away the free Chick-fil-A coupon. Thank you so much.
Let's go. We all got Chick-fil-A. Oh. Got that? It's 2 players.
Getting ready to start the third quarter from Golden West College, and the Rustlers on top of the Tigers 27-26. And Michael, a little bit of everything in that first half. Special teams, defensive touchdowns, more than a few penalties. But your impressions of a back-and-forth first half?
Sloppy from both teams, really. Early on, it was Riverside. They seemed to get their feet under them. They weren't ready to play in that first quarter, but they surely brought things on at the end of that first half.
Xander, we asked you about the quarterbacks at the top, so let's ask again at the first half. Brady Jones, Will Burns, eventful first halves for our two quarterbacks as well. Your assessment of the quarterback play?
Well, you definitely have two different stories. Brady Jones, 20 for 32, 229 yards. Has not been running the ball. He's got negative rushing yards because of the 2 sacks. Will Burns, only 97 passing yards, 10 for 19, and 47 on the ground. So we're obviously seeing two different quarterbacks. Brady Jones likes to stay in that pocket, get those quick throws out, as we've seen. Will Burns likes to move his legs, likes to improvise, whether going for that quick out route or he's just going to run it with his legs for a big gain.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating the degree to which it continues the trend that we saw going back to last week. 337 yards for Brady Jones in the victory against Long Beach City College. Will Burns, just over 140 yards, 143 yards, but incredibly efficient on 16 of 21 a week ago. Just 10 of 19, but I think both quarterbacks, Xander, doing what they do, at least so far from what we've seen.
Well, they especially have done well in the positions they've been put in. Will Burns, in the beginning of the game, put it in the red zone right away, twice in a row, and he was efficient. Got the 2 touchdowns they needed to get an early lead. The long game hasn't been there yet, but we'll see as the second half starts.
Yeah, which team is really going to be able to start running the football is a key question in this second half. You take a look at some of the rushing numbers. The rushing averages just 0.2 yards per carry in the first half for Golden West. Riverside not a whole lot better at just 2.6 yards per carry. Can one of these teams get something going on the ground here in the third quarter? Payne on the return with some running room again. He's tripped up just past the 30, and that might have saved about 20 yards.
Yeah, he slipped up. It looked like it wasn't even a shoestring tackle. Jeff, 15 penalties in that first half and an equipment warning.
Yep.
So a lot of flags, and, well, hey, it's 2 hours in, and we still have a whole half of football to play.
I was going to say, nobody knows it better than us right up here. We've been here for 2 hours, so that was an eventful first half and a long one. We'll see some early season miscues, I think, all around for these two teams.
A lot of clock mismanagement at the end of that first half. You had a minute plus up there for Golden West. They had an opportunity to maybe put some points on the board. They left 2 timeouts and over a minute left after a quick 3 and out. RCC unable to capitalize.
Burns looking for Mickelson, who sheds 1 tackle and is out to the 42, a gain of about 7. Sets up a second down and short.
8-yard gain, second down.
And the first thing you notice when you look at Riverside defensively, I'm looking for Isaiah Bogar. And not seeing him on the field. Might be over there at the left defensive end spot. Bogar left briefly, but so critical to this Riverside defense. A carry for Walker, good enough for a first down.
4-yard gain, first and 10 at the 47.
So quick first down for Golden West. They did enjoy a slight advantage in terms of time of possession. And yeah, Isaiah Bogar is not on the field as of right now. And that is a massive loss for Riverside defensively. First down carry for Walker following his right guard. Freshman Lihanu Aluatasi for a gain of about 3. Mentioned Golden West. A little turnover on the interior of that offensive line. A couple of freshmen coming in. And Ben Falatoy, due to some injuries at the tackle spot, makes the move from guard out to right tackle. So the Rustlers a little bit out of sorts on that offensive line, maybe part of some of the struggles in the running game so far today. 2nd and 7 from midfield. Burns setting up the screen, looking for Mitchell with a head of steam, forced out of bounds near the first down marker.
He's right at the marker.
It's a gain of 7, and they haven't moved the chains yet. Now they are going to move them.
I love Golden West coming out of the gate already. Seeing that they're missing their top D lineman and seeing also a three down lineman, they're going to test them. They're going to see what they're made of. And obviously, good runs to start off and a good screenplay right there. It looks like the running backs are going to get more involved, especially in this running back by committee.
It looks like Bogart just checked in.
Yeah, Bogart back on the field. Left with what appeared to be a lower leg injury, but he is back in playing. The throw out on the right side. Sarmiento spins out of a tackle.
Heck of a job.
Inside the Riverside 30. They'll spot it at the 31, say he stepped out of bounds, but that's a gain of 11. 6th reception in the game for Robert Sarmiento.
Yeah, Burns flashes the arm there. On the run to his right.
They'll give him 12 yards to the 30. The Rustlers, who started with good field position, now with 3 first downs, have moved it to the Riverside 30. Early going third quarter, Rustlers on top by 1.
It's a statement drive coming out of the half here from Golden West.
Working against the #1 team in the 3C2A and the defending champs here at home. 3 wide receivers, blitz coming, Burns, straight drop, plants, fires, and incomplete. Looking for Trey Nelson, working against Ashad Chapman over on the far side.
And we've seen both teams this whole game just a little too much out in front than what they like. Just a matter, again, of inches, literally what could be in his hands. As you see, it comes off his right hand, but it isn't able to make the one-handed catch.
Yeah, just a couple of plays on both sides that were off the fingertips. You wonder what we might see a little later in the season. We're just in week 2. 2nd and 10 for the Rustlers from the Riverside 30. Quick throw. Modest gain over on the far side. Finding Burdick to the 24, 6 yards, leaves a 3rd down and 4. Golden West at one point was 0 of 5 on 3rd down. They're now 3 of 9. So they've started to get it going somewhat. Against this Tiger defense, they face a 3rd and a long 3 from the Riverside 24. Back Walker in the pistol formation. Burns going to look to throw. Swings it out to Walker. Not much doing for Walker. He is going to be cut down for a loss of a yard. And a 4th and 5 coming up from the 25. And a decision for Nick Mitchell. And the Rustler coaches, will we see Mancia? Yeah, Fernando Mancia, who was 2 of 3 a week ago. He'll have the wind somewhat at his back. Working from right to left, this will be an attempt of 42 yards. This would be his longest on the young season. This is actually closer to 43. From the right hash. Placement down, kick away. And Mancia puts it through. 43 yards, and in 4:46, the Rustlers answer back once again, now 10 unanswered. And they lead it 30-26, a good statement coming out of the half for the Rustlers, who lead it now 30-26. Here from Golden West College, it's Rustler Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Four-point lead for the Rustlers. Mancia will tee it up. Early 3rd. High end over end. Monroe from the 1. Out to the 15. And brought down shy of the 25, a 22-yard return. Tigers will start from their own 24-yard line. Still a one-score game, and I think if Tom Kraft on the Tiger sideline, listen, you've had a slew of penalties, some miscues on special teams, 4 turnovers in that first half against a very good Rustler team, and you're down 4 early in the third.
Yeah, I think the Tigers just need to understand they need to establish some form of running game. They do not have a running back by committee. They usually are going with one guy, and that's Pearson.
And it is Pearson who will get the call straight ahead and pushes the pile for a gain of 5. Second down and 5.
And we know that Brady Jones could get out there with his legs, so why not try to run some read options to see what the defense can read?
Yeah, just 31 net yards rushing and not a whole lot better. Brought down for a loss in the backfield on the second down carry. That was Kane Elroy from his linebacker spot getting into the backfield in a hurry. So again, just 34 yards on 14 carries as a team for the Tigers here so far today. And the Rustlers will take that every day of the week in this matchup if they can continue it. 3-man rush on 3rd and 7. Jones nearly tripped up, now just has to flip it away. Is this a live football? It's picked up by a Tiger over on the far side. And let's see what the call is. Jones just flips that ball away. Yeah, they're going to rule that an incomplete pass. That's a good call. George Arredondo delivers the news, and yeah, Jones to avert the sack. Just flips that ball away. You can't advance that. Ruled incomplete. And the Rustlers get the quick 3 and out, and they'll get it back.
Yeah, a bit of a questionable decision because you cannot throw that ball just blatantly and hope that somebody's there to catch it because that can just turn into an easy pick 6. Why not Brady just try to throw it out of bounds, just stop the clock and just leave it as a 4th and long?
Yeah, and it's Talon Smosky who is back in punt formation after Hausman had some troubles on his first attempt. It was Smosky who took over for much of that first half in the kicking game, gets this one away. And the kick, 35 yards, and the Rustlers will come away with good field position. They'll start from their own 39, 8:41 remaining here in the third quarter, and things become just ever so precarious for the Tigers, who are down 4. But the Rustlers, after finding themselves down after giving up the defensive touchdown, appeared to be reeling somewhat, but they have responded nicely with 10 unanswered points, and they have the momentum back.
Yeah, momentum is going to be the name of the game. We're going back and forth. Obviously, we saw RCC with unanswered 21 points, and now Golden West coming in, got the points, and went into half and took another 3 points coming out of it.
Have the football back. Thomas on the carry with some running room. He's into the secondary, into Tiger territory at the 30, forced out of bounds near the 25-yard line. There's the speed of Kendrick Thomas, who goes for 35 yards. Well, that'll improve the rushing average for the Rustlers, who were struggling mightily. They spotted the 27, so call it 33 yards, and right away the Rustlers on the move. Well, that is beyond a welcome sight for the Rustlers to get something going in the running game, as Thomas found a big hole on the right side. Read option. Now it's Burns looking to keep Nixon giving chase. They'll force him out of bounds. Ahmad Chapman eventually forcing Burns out of bounds. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming up.
And just a good play just to be conservative and focus on that quarterback on the read option. Obviously, a guy like Burns, you're definitely going to want to look at.
2nd down and 10 from the 27. Blitz coming, deep drop for Burns, has time, fires over the middle, nobody home, it's picked off. And the Tigers forcing the interception. Yeshua Yisrael with the pick, and I'm not sure where Burns was going with that football because Yisrael was really the only one in the area.
Yeah, especially throwing into 2-man coverage like that. Just looked like he underthrew his receiver on the out route.
Yes, Sarmiento, I believe, was in the picture, and maybe expecting Sarmiento to break that pattern off. either way, the pass well offline, and it's an easy catch for Israel.
Well, Burns obviously read maybe a post route instead of that corner route. So Sarmiento going off to the left. Now he's throwing in pretty much into just 2 defensive backs.
Third turnover for the Rustlers in the game, and a possibility averted, or a possibility dashed, in terms of Golden West, who was on the move, headed at the Riverside 27 with an opportunity to maybe extend on the 4-point lead. Instead, they turn it over with the interception. It's quickly 3rd and 6. And a quick throw, catch is made by Williford. 7th catch in the game for Williford, immediately brought down at the 26. That's a pickup of 4, and it's about 2 yards shy of the first down marker. And a timeout taken. The officials are going to take a timeout on a 4th and 2. And Xander, I can't imagine this isn't a punting situation for Riverside from their own 26.
It's most certainly not, and especially the last few drives haven't been able to really generate any form of drive down the field. They might already be in 4th down territory of going for it.
Meanwhile, it should be pointed out that Christopher Cooper has come on at quarterback for this drive. So it's Cooper who completed the most recent pass, and it raises the question for Jones, who has thrown a couple of interceptions. Is this by design, or are they making a move to Cooper to see if they can find a hot hand? Meanwhile, the carry and first down yardage. It was 3rd down. Branch with the carry does have enough for the first down. So our discussion of 4th down was just a little premature. We weren't at 4th down yet. Either way, Branch on the 3rd down carry has enough for the first down. So interesting that they go to Cooper. Jones went the route a week ago, so this is not something that we saw by design a week ago. But Cooper going to get a couple of series here at the controls. Pearson wrapped up in the backfield. Jordan able to drag him down. No gain on the play. Jordan and Viramontes have both been factors in this one so far, returning sophomores at defensive end for Golden West. 2nd down and 10 from the 30. No gain on the carry for Pearson. Play action. Cooper flushed from the pocket. Has some running room. Now he'll head out of bounds. Shy of the marker. Forced out of bounds by Terahidi Wolf. Leaving another 3rd down. Riverside 4 of 10 on 3rd down. Facing a 3rd and 2. After the 8-yard run by Cooper. They want to move quickly. Elroy coming on the blitz. Cooper looking for a lane and is able to just get back to the line. That brings up 4th down.
Continue to pay attention to these edge rushers in this game. They're finally doing the homework, realizing that in the first half they were running a lot of stretch and running just on the outside of the tackles. Now those edge rushers are starting to change it up, trying to break through that first block from the tackles and also the second from the guards. They're changing up to make sure that they run only up the middle.
They're going to line up to go for it on 4th down. Cooper pop flies the near side. What a catch! This may be a 6 for the Tigers. It's a foot race. And Riverside going to go back in front. KJ Cherry with a one-handed grab as he warded off a defender. This will go for 62 yards.
And that ball just fell in his lap, just perfectly in there, able to stay in bounds as he's fighting the DB and taking it all the way to the house.
I was still somewhat taken aback that they elected to go for it from their own side of the field at their own 38-yard line on 4th down. So Tom Kraft rolls the dice, then calls that play with Chris Cooper, electing to let Cooper try and make the touch pass on a 4th and 2. Cherry with one-on-one coverage, and what a sensational catch by KJ Cherry.
Yeah, trying to get him off guard with that passing play. You kind of expect if they're going to go for it on 4th, maybe a quick curl route or maybe just a run up the middle, but no, just a quick out route, and he is covered in the face and still able to make a catch and a nice play.
Working one-on-one with Drew Faulkner, and Cherry with the catch and run, 62 yards, 5:05 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Tigers back out in front, 33-30. on a steely call from the Riverside sideline on a 4th and 2. And Tom Kraft and his staff showing unbelievable confidence in their offensive unit on the field, and Cooper and Cherry deliver.
What we're seeing as this game continues, taking advantage of those mistakes, the interceptions. I believe Golden West has scored off of two interceptions. Now RCC, off of that interception, able to get a touchdown there. They're going back and forth, able to make plays when the defense is able to stop them.
So the Rustlers will go back on offense. Low line drive kick taken on a hop at the 20. And it looks like Mickelson on the return, able to get to the 33. Well, this becomes a very important drive for the Rustlers. Yes, you have time, but you have got to imagine that they're reeling somewhat off of that play, thinking that maybe they had the stop forcing 4th down, and instead the Tigers roll the dice on 4th down and come up big with not only getting the first down but the touchdown. Now all of a sudden you're looking up on the scoreboard, you're down 3.
Yeah, and obviously at this point now, you're just trying to take points. Don't want to come up with any more mistakes like Burns had with that interception. If he keeps starting to fall back into that, we might see a whole different ballgame from RCC.
Yeah, the ebb and flow in this one is unbelievable. Every time you think that one of these teams has seized some kind of an advantage, here comes a big play to completely change the momentum. Just a few minutes ago, it was the Rustlers with a 4-point lead, and they were driving. It looked like maybe they were going to extend. Burns over the middle. Catch is made for a first down. Finding Trey Nelson working over the middle. Nelson gets to the 42. That's about a yard shy. So a 2nd and 1 for the Rustlers. 4:30 and counting remaining in the 3rd quarter. Beck Walker gets the handoff through the first line into the secondary, a gain of 7. Again, nice hole working up the middle. That young interior of that offensive line opens up another hole for Beck Walker. Nice adjustments in the running game in this 3rd quarter for Golden West.
Yeah, and Golden West doing a good job with Beck Walker, understanding his strengths and understanding who he trusts with his guard and center to just take that ball up the middle and get it for a nice gain.
Yeah, following Inoki Samita, freshman center, for a gain of 7 and a first down. Blitz coming. Burns setting up the screen, has the completion, just tripped up after a gain of about 6. Joshua Yisrael, who just had the interception moments ago, might have saved about 20 or 30 yards getting a hand in to limit that play to 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. It was a great play call against the blitz as the Rustlers anticipated again and had the right call. 2nd and short. Thomas, good hole once again. Thomas has the first down. And you got pretty long odds that it would be the Golden West offensive line that would start to impose themselves between these offensive lines here in this 3rd quarter. But it is that Rustler offensive line that is starting to open up some nice holes for these Rustler backs.
Yeah, and they're really doing a great job of just opening, especially with 3 down linemen like that, able to get to the 2nd level against those linebackers and just trying to bruise through them as well.
1st and 10 after the pickup. Walker trying to cut it back, but Bogar pursuing. Able to wrap him up. Gain of perhaps a couple. We'll see how much forward progress they give Walker, about a yard. 2nd down and 9. So the Rustlers right now down 3, but also giving that defense a little bit of a blow as well, picking up a couple of first downs.
Yeah, and it seems like it's more a methodical drive because they're just trying to give the defense some rest because RCC has been just running, again, this running gun, just keep going, no time whatsoever to take a break. So this might be some help to the defense as well.
Read option and another interception. Tigers coming up with a big play again on defense to thwart another drive Raymond Valencia, who had the fumble return for a touchdown in the first half, sitting back in that zone coverage, has the interception, and for the second time here in the third quarter, a Rustler drive is thwarted. Interception thrown by Will Burns. Tigers get it back, leading by 3 with 1:39 remaining in the third. And that's a killer for Golden West, starting to move the football. But now,
and watch right here, a simple slant route to Sarmiento, and he throws behind him, not anticipating him already getting across field, and another costly mistake for Will Burns.
yeah, Burns, just a freshman out of Mission Viejo, and easy to forget. First down carry. Branch, good hard running out to the 41, a gain of 8 yards, but Burns makes the transition here to Golden West, and this is just his second start. So again, early season for both these teams, and maybe having to go through some growing pains, but Burns with a couple of interceptions here in the third quarter, robbing the Rustlers of an opportunity, perhaps.
And it was definitely going to be a test going up against the #1 team. But making simple mistakes like that is something you cannot go with. Understanding that Sarmiento is running across field on the slant, just hit him in stride. After that first linebacker was going to get through, there was nobody in front of him. He had just green and an end zone.
3rd and 1 from the 42. They go on the ground. Branch pushing the pile. He's out to the 44. Appears to have enough for the first down. Josh Clark among the first to get there, but Branch needed a yard, got a couple. Under a minute to go, third quarter. Cooper, play action, looking to throw across and finds Branch. Dangerous throw. Branch into Golden West territory at the 43-yard line. Appears to have enough for a first down. We've got a Rustler player down with 17 seconds remaining in the third. And the officials will take a timeout as Andrew Jordan attempted to get up and get off the field but couldn't quite do it. And again, the temperatures have warmed considerably from kickoff, and you hope for Jordan that perhaps nothing more than a cramp, but obviously we don't want to speculate too much, though Jordan is largely getting off the field on his own power. Did make it over, but they will look at that lower leg, and we'll get ready to go. Time enough for one more play here in the third quarter with 17 seconds remaining. The football resting at the Golden West 43, 1st and 10. Cooper remains in the game under pressure, slips away, now looking deep over the middle. Great catch by Cox down at the 10-yard line, 33 yards.
What a catch by Cox, but what a play by Cooper, evading 2 defenders coming at him to avoid the sacks and making a nice ball just above the head of Cox just to jump up and make a nice play.
Yeah, Viramontes was there and had a shot. Couple of Rustlers with a chance, but Cooper extends the play, then delivers to Cox, who makes a great leaping catch. That is the end of the third quarter. When we return, the Tigers with a 3-point lead will have it. 1st and goal from the 10. You're watching Golden West football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. first and goal. They'll spot the football at the Golden West 9. And Xander, if the Tigers can get it in here, it becomes a 2-score lead for Riverside. That would be the first time today that they would enjoy a lead of more than 1 score. So this becomes a big situation for the Rustler defense as well to try and keep the Tigers within 1 score. Cooper in the pocket, now flush, throws on the right side, nobody home. Pressure coming from Kassan Micah. That'll bring up 2nd and goal. Cox back in the game, had a touchdown reception earlier on the right side with Hollins, along with Silva Viella on the left side and Omar Hammond. They'll spread it out with 4 wide receivers. Andre Branch in the pistol formation behind Cooper. Time on the play clock, it's at 13. 2nd down, a chant going for Golden West, trying to get behind their defense. Looking for Viella, and the pass incomplete. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 9. Dalen Brim with the coverage. Last week for Riverside, Pedro Padilla, 1 for 1 on his field goal attempts. And a timeout taken. The Rustlers going to take their first timeout here in the second half. 14:49 remaining in the ball game. Riverside on top, 33-30 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Massive play coming up for the Tigers and the Rustlers in a 3-point game. 3rd and goal from the 9. Cooper flanked by Branch. Rustlers coming on the blitz. Cooper tries to pick his way forward, still on his feet, trying to move the pile, but eventually twisted down after a gain of a couple well shy of the goal line. This will bring up 4th down, and you believe that you're going to see Pedro Padilla as the Rustlers, Xander, accomplish absolutely what they needed to here, at least forcing the field goal, trying to keep it at 1 score.
Yeah, and after a great play that took him down the field to end the 3rd quarter, going into the 4th quarter and absolutely stopping them on 2 passes, and then Cooper on a QB draw, just able to turn that into nothing and now turn it into a kick to keep it at a 1 score.
If you're looking for good news, if you're the Tigers, is obviously as Padilla punches it through. Now it's a touchdown. So the Tigers get themselves a little bit of breathing room, 36-30, and you look at the score, and isn't it the way? That missed extra point early looms large. The Rustlers down 6, not 7. So if they get a touchdown here, might be able to steal the lead back by just simply adding a PAT. It's amazing how it comes back. It's the equivalent of the leadoff walk in baseball. Just amazing how every time.
Yeah, it always comes back to harm you. But you also have to look at it defensively, though, for Riverside. Burns has thrown 2 picks in his last 2 drives, so obviously there's some chance there that if you apply the pressure, you can maybe just put Burns on the edge, and you could just stop him from there. I think RCC is pretty confident, even though they're only up by 6 and not a full touchdown.
Yeah, and we saw last week Camden Stiegler, and we've seen him a couple of times today. But only briefly, and you wonder if maybe we will see Stiegler. We were talking about it in between quarters about how seeing Cooper was something of a surprise after Jones went the route a week ago for Riverside. But looking like Riverside made the decision to try another quarterback and see if that didn't change the dynamic somewhat after Jones had thrown a couple of interceptions.
Yeah,
so both these coaches, I think, weighing some options.
Yeah, and the past few drives from Brady, it hasn't been the best for him. Hasn't been able to really drive it down the field. Cooper comes in, gets that throw just right in the receiver's hand to take it 65 yards for a touchdown. And then the next drive, escapes 2 defenders and able to make a nice throw to Cox for a big gain. So we're obviously seeing a lot of momentum shift also with the quarterbacks, not just with the whole offense.
So Will Burns continues at the controls with Beck Walker in the backfield. Opening minute, 4th quarter. Riverside with their largest lead at 36-30. Still a 1-score game. Walker, little stutter step in the backfield, but just got back to the line. Quickly there, Samuel Fanua. Brings up a 2nd down and 10. Burns has the snap. Quick throw over the middle, complete. Burdick out to the 34. That is a yard shy of the marker. And Golden West, 3 of 10 on 3rd down, will face a 3rd and 1.
And it's still looking nice, the fact that the offensive coordinator and head coach still trust Will Burns to go out there and make nice throws, not just be running the ball, and hopefully that will establish something.
Riverside limited Long Beach to 4 of 13 on 3rd down a week ago, so they've been stingy on 3rd down. This just a 3rd and 1. Trouble on the snap. It's still on the ground, still loose. And now Burns will cover it up, but that will end the drive just that quickly for the Rustlers. No chance on 3rd down. They lose about 5 yards, but managed to keep the football. But the punting unit coming on denied even an opportunity to pick up that yard and continue the drive.
Yeah, it just keeps continuing to have bad snaps. We're just wondering what's going on with the center and the quarterback relationship right now.
Yeah, it is a freshman in Inoki Samita. So a change, again, very young on the interior of that offensive line for Golden West, and might expect some growing pains. Short kick taken at the 41. And a little bit of jawing, some pushing on the field, but no flags at the tail end of that play over on the other side of the line. Looked like Trey Nelson wrapped up. But they'll separate it. No flags coming, but Riverside comes away after the short kick at their own 41. And the Rustler defense going to need to come up big. Down 6. You've still got time in this situation, but any score makes it 2 scores. First down carry, and a gain of perhaps a yard. Pearson on the carry. Spotted at the 42. Elroy among the first to get there. 2nd down, pass complete. Cox, they're trying to rip it out. Cox, meanwhile, keeps working. And, you know, Xander, you alluded to this before, looking to make the turnover and rip that ball out. But give the Tigers a lot of credit. They're not content just to hold on to the football. They're seizing that opportunity to work for some extra yards, and Cox does there to the gain of about 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, while Golden West just keeps trying to fight that ball, trying to get him to fumble it, Cox is just using it as that momentum, just takes it with him. They're going to be pulling him, try to rip it out. Well, he's going to use that pull just for him to get over there.
And now some trouble on the exchange for Riverside. Some perfect symmetry as Cooper just has to fall on it, and that will kill the Riverside drive. So Golden West will get it back. That's big for the Rustlers as they get the 3 and out.
Yeah, and you have to imagine, you kind of thought that maybe RCC is starting to go in keep-away mode. Maybe just get some runs going, take a while for to snap the ball, maybe get some just quick out throws just to get some yardage there. But it just seems like they're staying in that same offense, just trying to get points on the board, but they should also be looking at the clock.
Yeah, still way too much time. High kick. In a little trouble, but covered under by Burdick at the 24. Good job by Noah Burdick. And I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's some wind down on the field, and it's tough out there handling kicks. Nick Mitchell talking about Noah Burdick, a returning sophomore, and that receiver core where there is a lot of experience for the Rustlers. And said Noah Burdick been here for a couple of years and just a really smart football player. Very valuable for this team and a guy that they can count on wherever they put him to make the right play, do the right thing. And Burdick back there handling the punt on a tough afternoon to do it, and does manage to at least fall on that football and keep it for the Rustlers, who are down 6. Read option, great fake for Burns, who now finds a little bit of running room, takes a big hit up at the 41. Ahmad Chapman coming in there up high on Burns, and he'll feel that one.
And look at Will Burns, seeing his receiver being covered by 2 defenders and just seeing the open zone that he has just to run it up the middle. He's got some great eyes.
Again, a standout baseball player who initially made his way to Texas Tech before bouncing back here to Golden West to focus on football. Mitchell warding off a couple of tacklers, finds a little bit of running room. Near the first down marker, that gets the Rustler faithful back into it. Into Riverside territory at the 44-yard line. Immediately moves the chains 15 yards as we wind under 10 minutes, 9:26 and counting remaining in the ball game.
And they're going to need everything they can in order to get these drive down here. Looking good early. But we're seeing that read option that we haven't seen fully yet from Burns. Maybe they should start going to that if they really want to get a lot of yardage.
Yeah, he does seem to run it very well. Mitchell spins out of a tackle in the backfield, gets to the 42, a gain of a couple. 2nd down and 8.
And it's a good time to come to it like that because we haven't seen Will Burns hold on to the ball for read option. He has been handing it off every single time. So maybe let's switch things up. Let's see what he can do if he holds on to that ball.
2nd down and 8 from the 42. Burns looks over the Tiger defense. Has some time. Moving left, throws, and it's incomplete. That's a hard throw to make, looking for Payne. And the pass a little offline. Leaves a 3rd and 8. Rustlers still struggling on 3rd down, just 3 of 11. Sarmiento in the slot on the left. 6 catches for 60 yards in the game. Let's see where Burns looks on a 3rd and 8. Has the snap, 3-man rush. Has time, guns it over the middle, incomplete. And it looked like he was going to Sarmiento, but that is a great job in coverage. Eddie Alain able to close and get a hand in to break it up, and the Rustlers going to elect to kick it away on a 4th and 8 from the 42. They'll send Mancia out. Interesting, saw Stock in the first half, but it's Mancia who will handle this punt from the Riverside 42. Wind starting to pick up noticeably again in the 4th quarter, and that will hold this one up. It's a short kick, but it takes a Golden West bounce. Down inside the 10 to the 9, so a good job by Mancia. The kick just 32 yards, but pins the Tigers at their own 10-yard line with 8:20 remaining. Well, watching 3C2A football for the last several years and covering a number of Tigers games, I have to say this is where the Tigers have a tendency to come up with big plays when they need them. It's a program that has so much success year after year. But with 8:20 remaining, Can the Tigers kill some time off this clock against a very good Rustler defense? They go right to Williford, out to the 16-yard line for a gain of 6.
Well, you can see the big gain there. Obviously, they're in man coverage. You see the safety is covering number 6 right there, but he is wide open. He's got about 10 yardage of free room.
9th catch now for Williford as he makes the catch, gets very near the first down marker. He is over 100 yards receiving in the game. And they are going to move the chain, so a couple of completions to Williford and a fresh set of downs for the Tigers. They'll spot it at the 20. Cooper continuing. They keep it on the ground. First down carry for a gain of about 4. Branch falls forward to the 24. Second down and 6. Branch now the leading rusher in the game for the Tigers. 37 yards on the ground. Cooper stepping up, still looking, throws, juggled over on the far sideline, and incomplete. Looking for Kevon Hollins. And that's a break for the Rustlers as Hollins about 5 yards clear, but just couldn't handle the pass from Cooper. And it brings up a 3rd down and 6 and a chance for the Rustlers to get off the field.
Yeah, and Hollins looking more for the yardage to gain rather than the ball.
Here they come, 3rd down blitz. Cooper with good protection, throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. The pass from Cooper a little offline. He had time against the blitz. Looking for Cox. And Cox unable to bring it in, and the Rustlers get the stop. 7:05 remaining in the ballgame.
Watch it right here. Cooper steps up and throws a ball a little off to the left of Cox, but still able right into his hands. Just falls right through and now brings it to a 4th down.
Yeah, I think he saw that he had Cox and maybe just guided that football a little bit because he had time, no question. He could set himself and make that throw. But I think Cooper really trying to guide that football into Cox over the head of Burdick. Good kick. Down at the 35. Smosky gets it to the 32. Solid kick of 44 yards. Rustlers back on. Had some success in the 3rd quarter with a quick 10 points. But now the last couple of drives haven't been able to sustain much of anything. Tiger defense has stiffened. Midway through the 4th. 3-man rush. Burns flushed out once again, throws, completes, finding Burdick. Burdick up near midfield. 17 yards for Noah Burdick. It's a nice job by Burns. Feeling the pressure, buying himself a little more time, and finding Burdick. On the ground, Mitchell with some room around the right side. 1st down and more. Forced out of bounds by Jawan Nixon. But Aaron Mitchell into the Tigers secondary, 21 yards on the scamper.
And it's starting to become the running game is leading this offense. Burns is doing a good job still, though. Looking for his first pass here in this drive. Probably look.
Yeah, Thomas with 50 yards. Burns leads the way, and now Mitchell rapidly approaching 50 yards. Thomas on the carry, shedding tacklers inside the 30 down to the 26. A gain of 3 brings up a 2nd down and 7. And those numbers don't sound particularly gaudy, but remember back at the half, Golden West had, I want to say, 2 yards on the ground as a team. So all of this really coming in the second half.
Yeah, it was literally coming off the legs of Burns, but that's because he didn't have much attempts. So the yardage that he gained gave him a bigger average. Now his running backs by committee are starting to go in there, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe 2 running backs sooner or later.
2nd and 7 from the 26. Burns again rolling away from pressure, just going to get what he can. Hit out of bounds. But the speed, and here comes the flag. We'll see if we have a replay of this on the near side. There was definitely some contact as Burns was heading out of bounds. But this is a big call. Talk about possibly tacking on 15 yards. Now let's watch here. And, well, he's out of bounds there, but now I got to tell you, that's a 50-50 to me. Sometimes you want to let him play through the whistle and not make a determination if somebody's a step out of bounds or just a few inches out of bounds. But you so often see this call, you can't be surprised when you see it.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty crazy the timing that he gets. As soon as he steps out of bounds, he is hit. So
Eddie Elaine on the hit, and they have picked up the flag. So it's 3rd down now and about 4 from the 23. Burns looking left, looking for Sarmiento, who brings it in. Working against Elaine, and Sarmiento has the 1st down. Big catch for Robert Sarmiento, his 7th in the game.
Yeah, and who else to get a 1st down but Sarmiento has been the top receiver for them in this game. You're going to keep going to that guy if he's going to keep getting open like that.
Well, it's the 3rd down security blanket. It was Nate Jimenez last year, and the year previous it was Jimenez and Sarmiento both working in the slot. And just great route runner, good hands. Comes up with the big play. Burns on the quarterback draw. Burns at the 10, at the 5. Touchdown, Rustlers. That'll tie it up at 36. And Xander, this looks like a design quarterback draw to me.
Yeah, and Burns finally using those legs, seeing all the blocks getting set up, and watch as the right tackle coming out is just a blocker. Nobody there, though, for him to block, and Burns just walks into the end zone.
Always nice to have an escort at about 300 pounds.
Yeah,
into the end zone. Now, hold everything, though, because they're backing it up. So amidst all that, yeah, we're getting the signal. There was a holding call, and perhaps you saw Burns with all that running room, and so often that's what you see. When all of a sudden the field really opens up, sometimes there's a reason. So the flag down, and Burns has the touchdown taken off the board. And instead the Rustlers will go back to work on a 1st and 20 in the pass, incomplete. Boy, oh boy, remember that moment. Penalties bedeviled the Tigers in the 1st half, but the biggest penalty perhaps in the entire game happens here in the 4th quarter, and it's Golden West who commits the penalty.
And with the wind going against you, I don't even think you're in field goal range to really kind of try and get a little easy chip. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, and I think head coach is seeing that easily and telling Will Burns, hey, stay out there. You're going to get this 4th down.
2nd and 10 from the 26. Yeah, down to 4:42, and I just don't think you can take a chance with the Tigers' offense being what it is that you can get that quick 3 and out and get the ball back. I think almost no matter what the distance is, this has got to be 4-down territory. Blitz coming. Good protection for Burns. Down goes his intended receiver, Burdick. No flags, and now it's 3rd down. And they need the 6. So a 3rd and very long from the 26. 4:36 remaining in the game. And I think it's an interesting decision here, but again, the wind really blowing from right to left. So decidedly in the face of the Rustlers, and I don't think a 43-yard field goal is enough return for the Rustlers on the investment. So I think even at a 4th and 20, you might see the Rustlers elect to go for it. Burns rolling right. Pressure from Nixon. Burns in all kinds of trouble. Just has to throw it away to avoid the sack. Nixon, who had 3 sacks in the victory over Long Beach last week, able to get right in the face of Burns and force that incompletion. 4th down and 20 from the 26. And Will Burns not going anywhere. It looks like the Rustlers going to roll the dice right here.
Yeah, but what really scares me is this RCC defensive line kind of revamped, kind of got that energy back. I mean, you have 4.5 minutes left, so obviously you're going to try to use all that you can that you have left.
I mean, you got Nixon on one side, you got Bogar on the other side. It's a nightmare to try and protect the quarterback, and the Rustlers have done a pretty good job today. Burns stepping up, still looking, throwing into the end zone, looking for Burdick, and it's broken up. Boy, for just the slightest moment, it looked like he had Burdick, but couldn't get the football there in time. That is a great job by the Tiger defense.
Yeah, and a great job by Eddie Elaine to catch up to his receiver. Had him beat out there, and Eddie Elaine coming all the way back and able to tip the ball away from his receiver.
Yeah, just right here. And Burdick, for just a moment, looked as though he might be open, but closing quickly. Elaine getting a hand in, and now with 4:18 remaining, the Tigers going to try and run this one out. The Rustlers do still have 2 timeouts. First down carry. Modest gain on the play. Now the Rustlers going to immediately use some timeouts. The clock is stopped. Don't have a call yet. No gain on the play. Second down and 10. And now we get the word. Golden West with their second charge timeout, 4:12 remaining in the game. Riverside on top, 36-30. It's Rustler football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Second down and 10, but of more import is the clock. 4:14 remaining. Cooper will look to throw, pressure coming, and the pass incomplete. Kane Elroy coming on the blitz was on top of Cooper quickly, and that takes just 4 seconds off the clock. Rustlers still have their 1 remaining timeout, so they have a chance to possibly get it back very quickly. Cooper, since coming on in the third quarter, has gone the route. 7-11, 128 yards and a touchdown in relief of Brady Jones. Third down carry, nothing doing, maybe a yard. Will the Rustlers burn the final timeout, give themselves maximum time? Right now the clock's still moving. They will get it back as Smosky will come on to punt. And it looks, Xander, as though the Rustlers are going to keep that timeout in their pocket. Let a little time come off here. Still plenty of time, 3:37 and counting.
Well, the good news is you still also have the 2-minute warning timeout, so you do technically have 2 with you right now. But it's a good job on them to keep at least 1 timeout going, because they might have to do a game-winning drive where they have to call a timeout.
High snap, Smosky has it, now just has to get it away and does. Big hop, Sarmiento has to let it go. This is going to turn out to be a big kick for Smosky. All the way down to the 25, 49 yards for Talon Smosky.
Yeah, and a good job by RCC to burn a whole minute on that clock.
Yeah, Smosky flips the field. Rustlers did a good job of getting off the field as quickly as they could. They've got 3:09, plenty of time, but they need 75 yards to find the end zone down 6. Well, I think right now the 75 yards is the bigger challenge than the doing it in 3:09. But they were that close on the previous drive. The holding call taking the touchdown off the board. Burns looking to throw, batted in the air and incomplete. That was a dangerous throw. Samarian Hughes jumping that route and nearly, I should say Ahmad Chapman, excuse me, jumping that route and nearly put this one to bed right then and there.
Yeah, Burns just didn't see Chapman in that low zone right there. An easy cover 2 play for it, a pick 6, but just out of Chapman's hands.
2nd down and 10 from the 25. Empty backfield for Burns. 3-man rush. Burns gonna buy a little time. Throws on the run. Diving attempt. Nelson has the catch. At the 47, 22 yards. They'll spot it at the 46, so give him 21 yards. Great job by Trey Nelson to come back and get that football.
And great job just to continue with the play, not giving up just because your quarterback runs out and going trying to help him out. You're going out there and go and make a nice catch and a big gain.
So Burns gets the Rustlers moving, clock moving as well, 2:37 and counting. As the snap, Mitchell on the carry. Straight ahead, runs into a wall. Might have squeezed out a yard. Tigers not fooled. Peter Ayaba among a couple of Tiger tacklers there quickly. 2nd down and 10. No gain on the play. Mitchell will remain in the game in the backfield. Receivers left and right. Snap to Burns. Burns flushed from the pocket, in trouble once again. Looking for Sarmiento, who goes up high and comes down hard. The pass incomplete. Taven Anderson on the coverage. And the 2-minute warning. 1:55 remaining in the ball game. Riverside on top of Golden West, 36-30. You're watching Rustler football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Third and 10 from the 46. And Xander, the Tigers, particularly here in the 4th quarter, bringing almost no blitzing, really dropping into coverage, but it's been effective against Burns. Rolling left, throwing incomplete. Looking for Colin Payne. And now the Rustlers facing a 4th and 10.
Well, the reason they're not coming as much with the blitz because they understand that Burns has been struggling in the passing game. They're going to let him throw that ball, see what he does, and even just rushing 3, they're still doing damage.
Yeah. Again, having guys like Juwan Nixon, Isaiah Bogart, you can sometimes generate pressure bringing 3, maybe 4 guys. And that is a nice luxury to have. And we have a timeout taken. Golden West going to take their final timeout. It's all resting here on this next play. And Nick Mitchell wants to talk it over. 1:49 remaining in the ballgame. Riverside on top 36-30. It's Golden West College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Fourth and 10 for the Rustlers from their own 46. Looking to keep this drive, and indeed, in all likelihood, their hopes for a win here against Riverside alive for one more play. Tigers drop off and rush 3. Deep drop for Burns. Burns plants, fires, and completes, finding Sarmiento. Working against Israel. One-on-one, and Burns with a little air under that football finds Sarmiento, who goes and gets it again.
And who else but Sarmiento going out again and making a big play.
8th catch continues the drive. They swing it out in the flat. Big hit over on the far side on Aaron Mitchell, who gets to the 35, a gain of 5. 1:25 remaining in the game. The Rustlers out of timeouts. But as they stop the clock to move the chains, you've still got a lot of time with 1:25 on the clock.
Yeah, it may not look like it, but there's definitely a lot of time left in this game.
Yeah, it's tough, with Riverside having all 3 of their timeouts. Yeah, I mean, if they get the ball back, say the Rustlers score a touchdown here and they get the ball back with 45 seconds, that's a lot of time.
Yep. Okay, so penalty flag declined, which I find hard to believe. So they'll take the penalty.
Yeah,
It'll be 1st and 5. I was like, I've never really seen that before. They really wanted Mitchell to have those 5 yards. 1st and 5 from the 35 of Riverside. Burns going to tuck it and run, has some room down that far side, inside the 20, forced out of bounds.
Another flag.
At the 17-yard line. We do have another flag down.
I want to say this is holding in the secondary.
We'll have the replay here, and it's shades of the touchdown from earlier in the 4th quarter where Burns has a ton of room.
Yeah, this is going against Riverside is the early indication.
Okay. It's a 23-yard run for Burns, but are they going to tack some on? And it looks like they are.
No.
And they're going to decline the penalty.
And they'll have the 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line.
And take the 23 yards for Burns, who himself is rapidly approaching 100 yards on the ground. And again, a lot of that coming in the second half. First and goal from the Riverside 12. Beck Walker back in the game. Now they bring the blitz. Burns pop flies the near side, incomplete.
I mean, I know it's bang bang, but the defender clearly gets there early.
Jackson on the coverage.
We'll have a pretty good look of this.
Have this down at field levels. It's 2nd and 10 from the 12.
We'll play it all the way through.
As that time they bring the blitz.
Good old referee right in the shot.
So Jackson able to just get a hand in when again it looked for a moment like the Rustlers had a man open. Ray in the game. Slot on the near side, but they work to Walker back to the left, and Walker lowers the shoulder, gets through, in for a touchdown for the Rustlers. It looked for a moment like Walker would be stopped just inside the 10, but he was able to squirt through and find the end zone, and with 1 minute remaining, the Rustlers grab the lead possibly. They've tied it up for the moment. Let's watch here. No, he just picks up a great block. Wow, Matt Mina, the returning sophomore, delivers a massive block that springs Beck Walker.
Wind swirling here could be a factor.
Mancia to try and tack on the extra point. This for the lead. Good snap placement down. Mancia punches it through. 1 minute remaining. And Mike, I know you remember, you go back 3 years, not quite 3 years, and the Rustlers 1 yard short in a 1-score game against the Tigers. Now the redemption comes 2.5 years later, as this time they do get in and find that go-ahead score. Can they hold the lead here? The Tigers will have a minute.
You go back to 21. That was on the final play of the game. Right now, 1 minute left, 3 timeouts remaining for an at times potent offensive unit for Riverside. Down the stretch we come.
Yep. Easy to remember, easy to forget that this was a 21-20 game at the end of one quarter. And since then, the defenses on both sides have really stepped up and carried the day. The Rustlers, with the big play there, finally break through here in the fourth quarter against this Tiger defense. Now can the Rustler defense come up with one more hold?
Something tells me this is about to be the longest minute we're ever going to see.
Well, 3 timeouts remaining. You're probably right.
Marquise Monroe, Cassius Ashtiani back to receive the kick. Mancia. High end over end kick taken at the 10 by Monroe. Monroe looking for the near side, looking for a block, and he's got one. He's out past the 40, forced out of bounds near the 45-yard line. And again, the Tigers down just one, so a field goal will do it. So that's a big play on special teams.
What's the long on the season, Jeff? I know we're early in the season, but don't really have an indication as to what the range might be for the kicker for RCC.
Yeah, just 1 week, and again, Padilla 1 for 1 last week with a long of 40. He's got some wind at his back.
We're looking at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, I think 30 yards from here certainly would put you within Padilla's range, you would believe. But that is a big play for Monroe and the return team for the Tigers to get it out to the 45. Cooper, under pressure, throws off the back foot, looking for the back shoulder throw, and it's incomplete.
Riverside gets away with one there. That could have been called a hold, which would have been disastrous.
Well, you think back to the start of this game and really, let's face it, the raging dumpster fire that the special teams were for the Tigers in that first quarter, and to think that a big play on special teams might be setting up a potential go-ahead drive shows you how far you can come. Tripped up after a gain of just a couple. Jesse Schumacher, the sophomore linebacker, who returns after missing the game last week with a big play, and the Tigers going to be forced to burn a timeout with 37 seconds remaining. And when we return, they will face a 3rd and 8 from their own 47. It's Rustler football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. From the 47, they'll empty the backfield. Pearson heading out. Now they're both going to point. What is the call?
Should be going back 5 yards. That's huge.
Yeah, the call against Riverside. False start, 3rd and 8 becomes 3rd and 13. Snap to Cooper. 3-man rush. Might have gotten away with a hold. He guns the near side, completes the pass. Boy, I'll tell you, it looked like Viramontes was bringing the pressure, and that might have been a hold as he was working over there on that right side against Simon Mayava.
Yeah, Mayava got away with a hold earlier in this sequence.
So now it's 4th down and about 3 after the 10-yard completion. Again, they'll send Pearson in motion. This is it for the Rustlers. Quick throw, Williford with the big catch, but keep an eye on the clock. Now at 26 seconds, they'll stop it to move the chains. Tigers instead gonna want to take a timeout.
We'll get an idea of how many timeouts are left for the Tigers.
So the Tigers gonna take a timeout, 26 seconds remaining. And they do still have one timeout. Fresh set of downs, but we're down to 26 seconds after Williford makes another catch. They go back to Williford for the big fourth down conversion.
I want to go back to that play before the first down. That clock was not running, and they did not get the gain, so the clock should have kept on going, but the clock stopped for some reason, and it doesn't seem like there was a timeout call before that, so I don't know what was going on.
On the completion to the near side?
On the completion on the first time.
Was it possible that they got out of bounds and they stopped the clock too?
Perhaps. I mean, they looked pretty close, but it didn't look like they got to out of bounds. That's just from my view, though. I don't know exactly where he was at.
They have it at the 43 of Golden West. The Rustlers on top by 1. Cooper brings the Tigers to the line. Has the snap, play action, good protection, throws picked off. The Rustlers get the interception, and Schumacher dropping back into coverage. The returning sophomore with the biggest play of the game, slamming the door.
What a game. 37-36. Rustlers staring down the barrel. And RCC turns it over with 16 seconds left, and the Rustlers going to improve to 2-0 in 2024.
4 turnovers in the first half for the Tigers. They cleaned it up in the second half. That is their first turnover in the second half. But that one turnover is going to close the door, and the Rustlers now can come out in victory formation and put this one away. A dramatic win.
And that's not the only thing that's closing the door. Just like we talked about from the beginning of the game, that 1 point is making a huge difference now.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy to forget, but the seemingly innocuous missed point after early on. And you wonder, does that come back? Obviously, a lot changes with extra points and decisions to make 2-point conversions, but that's 1 point. And you look at the scoreboard, and it's a 1-point margin. Golden West gonna move to 2-0 as they upend the top team in the state, 37-36. And we'll wrap up our coverage here, but Xander, so much came down to the quarterback play, and they went to Chris Cooper, who did a good job coming in for Brady Jones, and Cooper just couldn't come up with one more completion to get him in range as Schumacher comes up with that big interception.
Yeah, Cooper doing everything he can, just get down the field as quick as possible. Kind of misread the defense a little bit, thought that linebacker was blitzing, but no, stayed out in the zone coverage and made a great play to call ball game.
You know, Michael, we talked at the top. I'm going to see if I have Mike's attention. I know he's got a couple of conversations going on here. For those that don't know, Mike Cepeda not only joins us on the broadcast, but he's the executive producer here at SoCalCollegeSports.com. So he is being pulled in 20 different directions. But Mike, at the top, we talked about that the Rustlers would need to keep that Tiger offense off the field if they wanted to reverse the recent trend between these two teams. And they did that, but also on the other side of that, great defenses come up with big plays, and it was the Rustler defense that ultimately closed this one out.
Yeah, the defense closes it out. As we said, at the end of the first half, both teams struggling on the ground. We had a very long first half, almost 2 hours, and we're out in about an hour and 20 here in the second half. Lot less flags in that second half, only 6 total penalties in that second half combined for both teams versus 15 in the first. Play was cleaned up, and I think both teams got better. Just the Golden West Rustlers got the better of it, and they move on to 2-0.
Yeah, perhaps exercising the demons of that playoff loss back in 2021 when they were so close but didn't get there. But the rivalry between these two great programs continues, and really reversing a trend over the last couple of years where the Tigers have had much the better of it. But this young Rustler team here in 2024 comes up with the big win, 37-36. Mike, I know we want to get to a couple of thank yous before we sign off. Did want to set the schedule coming up, though. Next week, we will be back here for Golden West College football. San Diego Mesa coming to Huntington Beach to take on the Rustlers. We'll have that for you.
Mesa much improved. That should be a good one as well. Riverside
going to be back in action next week. They're at El Camino. So, Mike, let's get to a couple of thank yous before we sign off.
Yes, Dean of Athletics, Danny Johnson, Athletic Director Tim Bremen, Andrew Upati, and who else? Well, everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com. Camera ops, Xander. His SoCal College Sports debut. Thought you were terrific here today, and looking forward to have you on more this season.
Thank you.
Eric Gillette in the director chair for today, and just a great job by the crew again and everybody involved.
And
Chick-fil-A, of course.
And we got a pretty good one to start here.
Yes,
Not
we
bad.
did.
We'll have a hard time living up to this one. I think measuring up to this one maybe going forward, but we'll do our best. We'll see you a week from today when San Diego Mesa comes to town. For everybody here at SoCal College Sports, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Rustlers get the win 37-36 over Riverside. So long.